Boys Club.
Is it called Boys Club because my apartment looks like a boy lives in it?
I wouldn't say a boy lives in it. I would say a boy is kidnapped somewhere in here.
Boys Club.
We're everything. We're true crime. We're World Star Hip Hop.
World Star Hip Hop. We're Netflix reviews.
Stories of the day.
Boys Club.
Listen.
Yeah, do it. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. I think. No, we're not. And on Google Play. Nobody gives a shit.
Boys Club.
Boys Club Podcast. Now with 90% more sound clips of black people.
Boys Club.
Touch me, and I'll sue.
Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is, it's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. Because I think that's where you'll find them. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Like, you must have like a whirlwind of people in your head at all times, like just with all the events and stuff that you organize.
Oh yeah, and even just matchmaking. Like I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, these people.
Oh my god! Okay.
I just don't sleep anymore.
I'm so ridiculously fascinated by you. I'm so excited to talk. Let's just freaking get into it, shall we? Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Intoxicated Podcast, everybody. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to have a very special guest on the show today. I've never met her. We only just met. Mm-hmm. But Jean-Eva, what's your last name?
Jean-Eva Dickie.
Dickie?
Yeah.
Jean-Eva Dickie
yes.
is here.
Hi, everybody.
And you are with, is it JE Marketing? JE Matchmaking?
JE Matchmaking.
Okay. You used to be Halifax Matchmaker?
Speed dating Halifax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that underneath you or within the brand or?
It was Speed Dating Halifax. And I just recently started matchmaking. Well, not just recently. It was February last year. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people knew that speed dating existed, but nobody knew that matchmaking existed. But matchmaking is my passion. So I decided to change the brand and change everything up so that people knew
that you're a matchmaker.
Yeah.
But you offer, you do speed dating events, mm-hmm. you do matchmaking, mm-hmm. and you do dating coaching.
Dating coaching.
Now, that's what I'm interested in all of these.
Yeah.
All of these areas.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard world out there.
It is a hard world out there, especially when you're dating. Yes.
It's real hard.
And harder than I think any generation before.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're not just meeting people at sock hops down the street.
No.
And saying, oh, you want to go steady?
Yeah.
And then you go steady? Like, it's just not that easy.
At 15 years old, and then you don't look at anybody else, and that's your girl, and that's your guy, and yeah.
And you still hear stories like that, but they seem quite rare.
They are quite rare, and I think they kind of come into, like, smaller towns, too.
Smaller towns.
And you get it quite, like, sometimes in this big cities as well, but it's mostly just how they were raised.
Right.
I see that, too.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
So let's start at the very freaking beginning with you. Because I feel like we have a lot to cover.
We do.
But, like, obviously, you can totally come back on anytime.
Okay.
Where did you grow up?
So I'm from Truro.
Truro!
Yes!
See, I'm from Antigonish.
Are you from Antigonish?
So, yeah.
Aww.
Small town gals here. Okay.
I should have known. McClellan,
yeah.
Yeah, of course you're from Antigonish.
Yeah, Mac. Mac name.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So you did grow up in a small town.
Yeah, I did. Outside of Truro, too. So in the country of Truro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Country gal.
Country gal.
Are you a country girl, but did you turn into a big city girl?
I did.
Yeah, same.
I think I was born a city girl that was born in the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, me too.
Yeah.
I always liked running around the woods and stuff, but I was always kind of snobby about it.
Yeah. Yeah, like you did it in a dress and you freaking owned it. You know what I mean? So like
I never liked camping, but I would do it in a camper.
Yeah.
I would do glamping,
but before
not
glamping
camping
was a thing. Yeah.
Still, I hate camping. I still can't do it.
See, I can. I used to tree plant out in BC. That's how I kind of put myself through university.
Oh.
So I used to sleep in a tent. I used to sleep in a tent for 2 months out of the summer.
Oh my gosh.
But you can't catch me in a tent, not, recreational.
Heck no. No. It's not the life I want to live. I need a bathroom. I need a shower. Like I need those things. Even if it's like a big, like I've had situations where like friends have had like big Airbnb cabin outings like with friends and stuff. And they're like, there's a bunch of us coming, come do it. But like some of you will have to sleep in the same bed and some of you will have to camp. And I'm like, no, I need a bed. Ideally my own room. Yeah. Honestly, if I'm being that snobby. Yeah. Ideally my own room too. Like that would be the ideal situation. So
anything kind of like outside of my house, really. I don't really want to go for an entire weekend to anything.
Totally get you.
No.
Unless it's a vacation down south or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
That'll do.
Yeah. That'll do. So Truro gal. And then you did, what's your background in?
So I have way too much education in geography and geomatics.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay. And I was not expecting that for some reason.
Yeah,
interesting.
Nobody expects that. No.
So are you someone whose life you thought was going one way and then you're like, no, we're gonna go this way?
No, I kind of always knew where my life was going from the very beginning.
Ooh.
Like right when I graduated high school, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I'm not a wishy-washy person, which I think is why I do so well in business, because I don't wish-wash any like decisions I make. I just do it.
You're just straightforward, straight shooter.
So when I graduated high school, I went right to school, and then I did 1 semester of school in business, and then I was like, no, this isn't for me. I switched to geography, and then from geography I went and did an advanced diploma at COGS, which is like an NSCC.
Yes.
That teaches you the software to actually make the maps, because geomatics is making maps. And then from there I was like, okay, well now I need to go to Calgary because that's the only places to get jobs. So then I went to Calgary and I lived there for 5 years.
Calgary, yes.
And then just before my 30th birthday, I'm like, I'm fat, I'm unhappy, I'm sitting in an office all day long and I can't stand this place. So I quit my job and moved back here.
Oh my God.
So it's just like, yeah, whatever I decide that year is going to be what happens.
You're a doer.
Yeah.
What's your zodiac sign?
Libra. My birthday was yesterday.
Happy belated birthday!
I know. Thank you.
Oh, well, that all makes sense because
Yeah.
Libras are really like straight shooters,
Yes.
from what I understand.
And we love love.
Love. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so you did that. And I should say we are drinking, guys. We're drinking wine. And she's drinking Starbucks too. PSL.
Yeah.
It's PSL season.
Pumpkin spice latte.
You know, I'm not a fan of them. They're too
Really?
sweet. I find.
I know. I was
I'm a
drinking
flat
this one.
white girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Girl, don't play. That's a legit drink right there.
I like espresso a lot. I really want to. I think when I get really rich, when I get really rich.
Yeah, when you get really rich.
I want to get an espresso machine.
Really? Like one of those big, heavy duty, fancy ones?
I want, like cappuccinos and flat whites. I freaking love.
Okay, what is a flat white?
I think, okay, that's actually a good question. And I am going to Google it just to make sure I don't give any wrong info. Because I know it has something, it always has to do with like the percentage of foam and espresso, like the ratios. What is,
I know latte is mostly milk.
Mostly milk.
Cappuccino is mostly foam.
Yeah. It's a coffee drink consisting of espresso with micro foam.
Oh.
So it's like a different kind of foam, I think. So yeah, it's delicious. But I love cappuccinos too, but I love the coffee. So obviously you're a coffee girl too.
I am.
But in terms of booze, because this podcast started about drinking.
Really?
It kind of originated of like, drunk podcast, but it's not doable anymore. But we do tend to have a drink. But we got to cheers anyways for good luck.
Yeah.
But we're drinking white wine.
With an ice cube in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I just got it from the liquor store and it was warm. But do you have a poison when it comes to drinking? Do you have
I'm a
drink?
big beer fan.
Okay, that's
like the craft
beer. You know
beer.
what? Because I saw your brewery event.
Yeah.
I thought about getting beer tonight just in case you wanted a beer.
Yeah.
And I went with wine because I thought it was safer.
Yeah. But I also work at an Italian restaurant, so we serve a ton of wine as well. So I'm like, I love that too. Just booze.
Italian food is the best.
It is the food. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Girl, you look great.
I know.
I know. You do.
I mean, thank you.
There you go. As long as you're saying I know or thank you, I think you're in the right spot. It's the girls are like, no, I'm not. Like, no, I don't. Like, at least you're saying I know. Like, I think both of those are good
And then I'm
responses.
like, oh, be humble. I forgot. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I know. I love that so much. Okay. So you have that background and you moved back to Halifax.
Yeah.
How the heck, you said that you love.
Yeah.
How the heck did you decide to start a matchmaking?
It was just pure evolution. Like so even like in my young years, I would definitely, it wasn't so much like individually hooking up people. It was more so having events to introduce people, and a lot of couples came out of it. This was like even in like university times when I was in Calgary, all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of couples that just came out of me introducing them just through events and like parties and stuff that I would throw because I love it. You're an event planner, so you get it.
I get it.
It's like a high.
It is.
When
but
you,
wouldn't
like-
you agree that it is one of the most stressful jobs?
Oh my goodness. Every day before an event, like a speed dating event or something, I'm like, why do I do this?
Yes, right? I know.
Like, why do I do this?
I know.
And then afterwards, you're on such a high because it actually worked out well that you book your next event.
And it's one of those professions too. Like I've gone back and forth with event planning.
Yeah.
Because when I have a PR degree, and out of that I was like, oh, I think I want to go more event planning and not so much like media relations or writing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But when I started to work in the field, I was like, holy shit, this is so stressful. I don't know if I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But then I always end up coming back to it.
Oh, totally.
Because I think it's like one of those things that's really, you can see the results of your work.
Yeah.
And that can be good and bad. So
Yeah.
you can see the fails.
Yeah.
And it can be kind of thankless, unfortunately.
The fails are, or like just.
I think just in general, event planning, people don't realize how much work goes into even just the smallest of events.
And people will
right?
tell you how to do it better when they've never planned a single event in their life.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, everyone has their ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it takes a certain type of person to do event planning.
Totally.
You have to thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
Kind of, and know how to organize that chaos.
Yeah.
But that's interesting, like specifically with events that it's like you're dealing with, you want to match people, you want people to mingle and talk and connect.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Like it's very similar to a business networking event attitude, except with love and dating.
Yeah.
And compatibility.
Yeah.
So how what was the moment where you were like, okay, I'm actually going to do this and make this a business?
It was interesting. I've always been entrepreneurial. So my parents owned a wreath and Christmas tree business growing up. So I've always kind of had that mindset. But when my first speed dating event, I had a really depressed, so I just moved back at my 30th birthday, quit my big Calgary oil and gas job.
Which is like to most people would be
beat it, you know,
That's it.
beat all the end all, right?
Yeah.
So I quit that. I moved back and I'm a server.
Mm-hmm.
So I started serving here and I just bounced between jobs because apparently I have an attitude. And word on the street, I don't know what they're talking about.
I love it already. Oh, I gotta bring the bell in. The bell is like a yes bell. Like yes, like you,
Yes,
like if
queen.
you make a good point. Exactly, it's a
Yeah.
yes queen bell. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah. So ding it whenever, and I'm gonna ding it whenever for you. So.
Okay, well apparently I have a tude. Yeah.
I love that though, but that it's tricky.
Yeah.
But I do think that those are the people who make the best entrepreneurs.
Yes, if
'Cause
you're
they
the worst
don't-
employee.
They don't want to work for anybody but themselves.
Yeah.
So fuck it. Do
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then I was, I had a really I wouldn't say depressed summer, but I had kind of a blue summer. I didn't have very much money because I was just starting at a new serving job and you don't get the best shifts. So I couldn't travel. I couldn't do anything that I love to do. I was just reading in my tiny little apartment all day long. And I read, have you ever heard of Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck?
Yes, it's on my shelf.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, I have
Yes.
it. I don't think I've read all of it because I just suck at reading books, but
You know what? You don't even have to read all of it. You have to read the first half.
First half, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it told me, because I was trying to like completely eliminate stress in my life. And I was like, oh, once all the stress is gone, I'll be super happy. But then I got rid of all my stress and I was like, okay, I'm not happy. So then he said to add a little bit of stress into your life. And I was like, and I always used to plan events and parties and all that kind of stuff. So then a friend of mine was doing a speed dating, was helping out somebody do speed dating in Toronto. And she was just kind of telling me a little bit about it. So I just booked an event on Facebook. Invited all my friends, my first speed dating event, and I made that event happen. So it took
You
a
just
month.
did it.
I just did it. I just booked it in, invited all my friends. I'm like, this is a speed dating event.
And it's your first one, so you're starting small with your network.
Yeah.
And you're grassrooting it.
Yeah,
really,
I didn't even plan it. I didn't even like, oh, this is going to be. And so we did it. And it's like, so it was like a week before. And I like had 2 guy tickets sold and like 3 women tickets sold. And I'm like, that is not a speed dating event.
One girl's go leave real sad.
I know. 5 people does not make a speed dating event. So I started adding a ton of people to Facebook. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I accidentally added you. But I see that you're single. I'm hosting this event. I probably messaged 500 people
Shut up.
to get
Individually.
7 men and 7 women to the first speed dating event.
Holy fuck.
Yes. Mama's a hustler. Yeah.
For you.
But I can't fail at anything. if I could do as
Libra.
much work. Yeah.
Yeah. You have that Libra attitude. I love that though.
I refuse.
You're competitive with yourself.
Yeah.
Because even with this podcast, people tell me all the time, they're like, tone it back, Sarah, just take a break, just stop. And I'm like, no, I like the satisfaction of saying that I never missed a week.
Yeah.
Because so
gosh,
many
yes.
podcasters, YouTubers, anyone will just like take a break and then they lose it and they lose that momentum. And I'm like, no, not doing it.
No.
If it's done, it's done. Or I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Oh, absolutely.
So you got that hustler mentality. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You need to see the movie Hustlers, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
It's great.
Wait, is that the
Jennifer
one with
Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I recommend it to literally everyone. But
Well, they
like,
said it's
specifically
like a
like
culture
strong-willed
changer.
women. Like,
Yeah.
It's kind of about female friendship, but also like it's just really entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do need to see that.
It's so good. So first event happened.
7 men and 7 women.
That's not too bad.
No, as long as you have a 7 men and 7 women, that's a speed dating event. Everybody leaves pretty happy.
And you just arrange it just like you would a speed dating event where they have so much time with each person. It rotates.
Yeah.
Did you see success?
Not in the
those?
first one.
Okay.
No. But basically on average now, for every speed dating event, we get 1 new couple. On average. 1 new couple out of each speed dating event. Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see too, like how many people go on another date.
Yeah.
Or because you might not always get a couple, but it would be interesting to see like how many people go on a second date or third
There's
date.
a lot of dates that come out.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of first dates, and then of course goes down for the second dates, but then we usually get 1 couple out of each one. There was one that we did at the Daily Grind on Birmingham, and they it was 30 to 40, and it was this summer, and it was gorgeous. It was outside. We had the music playing, and it was a beautiful summer day. We had 3 couples coming to that one. I think it was just and the people were amazing that came, and unique and dynamic, and like you knew that there was gonna be a lot. There was electricity everywhere with that event.
Oh my god!
Oh, and there's people, and I don't like to say this out loud only because it makes little people like standoffish.
Say it out loud.
But there's people that will come just to watch the speed dating events. They'll come to the actual venue.
Oh, as
to
a
watch.
bystander.
Yes, because it is so interesting.
I bet
to
you it
watch.
kind of feels like you're because I imagine a lot of servers witness a lot of dates too.
Oh yes, we do.
So it's kind of that mentality of like, ooh, like, because you ever like see 2 people and you're like, okay, what is this? Is this a first date or have they been
Second
dating
date?
a year?
Yeah.
I love doing that. Like looking at body language and like the chemistry and just being like, what's going on here?
Yeah, are they fighting? They look like they're fighting. What's happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
But what I love about a speed dating event and why I'm so happy it exists is it takes people off the freaking apps.
I know. Yeah.
The apps are truly, I think, what is killing people's desire to date.
Oh yeah.
And yes, it is an option and it's kind of makes you lazy in my opinion.
Absolutely.
But to go to a place where you're guaranteed to talk to a person in front of you
Yeah.
and you're looking at them
Yeah.
and you're getting a vibe, you're picking up on their tone and their vibe. It's just so important because like with me when I'm swiping, I'm like, I can't assess attraction based on a profile.
So much time.
You waste so much time.
Yeah.
And the swiping. And there's so many no's.
Yeah.
How much time, so standardly at a speed dating event, how much time do they get with each other?
Depends on how big it is. So there's one where I had 20 men and 20 women. Oof. That's a lot. That was the biggest. I don't go bigger than 12 and 12 now. That was the biggest I ever did. Maybe 14 and 14.
Right.
But that they would have like 4 to 5 minutes together. But mostly I would like 6 minutes together.
That would be so quick.
Oh, it's so fast. It's like, hi, what's your name? And then like that quick little,
And do you leave them to their own devices with the speed dating? Or do you have suggested questions?
I have suggestive questions, but they tend to not stick to them. They get it's a nerve-wracking experience.
Oh my God. I can only imagine.
You can be like the most social person in the world and you're nervous going speed dating. Totally. So I have sample questions for them that they can, and there's some people that I personally coach prior to going to speed dating.
Right.
Just so they can have they can just relax and have a good time while they do it.
Right.
But 6 minutes is mostly what they get. 6 minutes. And really, it's not, for 6 minutes, you can't be like, oh, I would totally spend my entire life with this person.
No.
You either know if it's a no or maybe I could spend more time with them. You never know. Yes.
Right.
This is the person I want to start dating.
Yeah. Like
you
that
don't know
can
that after 6
happen,
minutes.
I feel like, but it is extremely rare.
And if it does happen, it's only based on attraction,
Yeah.
which is not compatible, conducive to good relationships. So yeah, usually,
I love that though, because you're right.
Yeah.
And like I've been thinking a lot about attraction and compatibility, and I'm like, I can truly look at a guy and be like, yeah, you're good looking.
Yes.
But I need more.
You do.
And I think most people need more.
Yeah.
Than just looking.
And I have a theory about this too.
Ooh, tell me.
Do you want to hear the theory?
Yes.
And it's just in my head theory. I do research all the time, but this is kind of something that I've been toying around. I want to do a blog about it soon, but I still am kind of figuring everything out. But there's 3 parts of having like a good relationship with somebody. Mm-hmm. Attraction, chemistry, and compatibility. Mm-hmm. So majority of people nowadays, they will base the majority of their relationships on attraction and chemistry. And the red flags that we see from compatibility, like, oh, I don't really want to date someone who has children. He has children, but okay, because I'm attracted to him and we have good conversations.
And then it just comes up later down the road.
It comes up later down the road. We kind of ignore those things that, make us happy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of things like, even if it's smoking and you don't want to smoke, even if it's 420 and you don't 420.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like non-negotiables there that is part of compatibility that we completely forget about.
Right.
For attraction and chemistry. Ooh. What I want to develop is, and when you come to a matchmaker, compatibility is what we're looking for. I send you on dates based on compatibility. I also send you on dates based on if you guys would look good together. So there's not a huge difference in attraction between the 2 people that I'll send on dates.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Because we can't avoid that part of it. I think it's icky sometimes to talk about.
Yeah.
But you're correct.
Yeah.
Because it is important.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but it certainly is not the most important thing.
No.
But you do need to be physically attracted to the person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so when you're matchmaking, do you ask people, like, what do you find physically attractive in somebody? Or
I do.
Okay, cool.
We don't go too deep into it. And when I first started, because you said it was icky, I almost avoided that when I first started doing matchmaking. Right. I was like, okay, we're going to describe all these things that you want in a partner, but please don't tell me what you're actually physically attracted to, because that's gross. Like, that's just too shallow.
Too shallow. That's the thing.
You know what I
People
mean?
think it's shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, basically, what I do is I ask them, show me some of your exes. What are some qualities that you look for? So that way I can get a real good picture of what they're looking for.
Interesting.
There's a woman that I work with, and she's very attracted to men who are tall, dark, and handsome. Uh-huh. And I'm just not going to send her on a date with a blonde guy with blue eyes, because she's just not attracted to that. And that's totally fine.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Fine.
That's
good
totally
for you,
fine.
though. That's good.
Yeah. But if there is some sort of compatibility there, and I kind of am like, and he doesn't perfectly meet the physical aspects that she's looking for, sometimes I still do. And it does work out sometimes.
Well, that's just it. I think a lot of times people will just give someone a chance.
Yeah.
And then they'll surprise themselves.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, okay, I actually am attracted to this type of person.
And we confuse type with what we're attracted to.
Interesting.
Because everybody says my type is this. And types, I feel, and I might be wrong, you might disagree, and please do if you do.
I love this.
I feel that types are basically just past relationships that haven't worked. Mm-hmm. And if they haven't worked in the past, how can that be your type? I don't believe in types.
Oh, I love that
but
attitude.
But I do believe in what you're attracted to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that depending on how people look at what a type is.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like, because there's jokes that you can make. Oh, you always go for narcissists. So Sarah's type is narcissist.
Is your type narcissist?
Which is true. But actually, no, it's not. Because you're right. Those are past things that didn't work out.
Yeah.
So really, that's an interesting way to look at it. You can be attracted to one thing, but maybe just have a pattern. Yeah. Maybe it's just patterns.
Yes.
Like we have past patterns of going for these types of men.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't work for reasons.
Yeah. And I feel that a lot of the time, and it's interesting that you say that, like patterns of our type of men.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's just the type of men that have been open to us as well, or have pursued us as well. One thing that I love to teach is to be able to choose your partner. I say it to men quite a bit, actually. Men will allow themselves to be chosen quite a bit. And then they always regret it after. Men, I'm like, you have to choose your partner. you have to choose your partner. Same with women. You have to choose your partner.
You're choosing.
You're choosing. Don't allow your partner to choose you. And don't allow them to, just because they pursued you to the hardest, to ignore those red flags, ignore those things that are not compatible with you, and just say yes because it's easy. Right. And like you were saying, in regards to being, a professional woman, I bet you the person that you would be dating would probably be the one that is able to pursue you the hardest because you're too busy to actually be able to select the proper man for you.
And you're 100% correct, because I've used the word chasing in the past, or like you're chasing someone or you're pursuing them. Mm-hmm. In the past, I've been the pursuer or the chaser.
Okay.
And I feel like as females, we get this in our heads where we're like, no, I want him to chase me now.
Yeah.
And it's like, we shouldn't look at it that way.
Yeah.
What we should, someone said this on a podcast, and I mentioned this before, but like, it shouldn't be chasing. You should like be meeting each other down the street.
Absolutely.
Like, you should be walking at the same pace.
Absolutely.
Towards each other, because it should be a mutual.
Absolutely.
Thing.
Yeah.
And yes, I get that there's nuances in that. Because we're all a little stuck in our ways. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a gal who's been, I told you, 9 years, like almost 9 years. Mm-hmm. In December, it'll be 9 years.
Yeah.
And so I'm very stuck in I'm picky who I go on dates with.
Yeah.
I'm leery to get excited.
Yeah.
If like there's a new guy that pops up that might be putting signs out, I'm very leery to even say he's into me.
Yeah.
Because I'm so scared of getting let down.
Yeah.
There's such a fear there.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot to get over. Mm-hmm. But I do think that if the compatibility and all those things that you said are right, it should be like you're walking towards each other, not one person's chasing.
Yeah.
And that can be male or female.
Absolutely.
Because females can be the pursuers too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes after the wrong.
Yeah.
Men.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I see that a lot. Oh, yes. Yeah.
So figuring out what you want is
it's
a huge factor in all of this.
Yes.
Can I ask are you single right now? Or
I am single.
You are?
Yeah.
So what's like your dating history like? Are you?
So I have basically dated everything and everything. So I have dated
That's good though. You have the experience.
Yes. If I could teach anything, it's how to date. I could get
I love this. I'm so glad I have you in my life now. Oh my God.
Right? So I have dated rich, I've dated poor, I've dated really good looking, I've dated not so good looking, I've dated all of it. I've been
different professions,
different incomes, I've been engaged. I have been,
really?
Oh yes.
When were you engaged?
I was engaged a couple times. Not something I actually want to talk about.
Shut up!
I talk about a lot of things.
Okay,
but yeah,
we'll leave that off the table.
These are long stories.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a little teaser. It's a little teaser.
I've also been engaged a couple times. But
no big deal.
No big deal. But you know what's interesting is that all of these relationships, and they were long relationships, like none of these were short. I mean, my first relationship was 2 years, then another one was 1.5 years, and then my longest was like 3 years.
Okay.
And then
so you're like a long-termer.
But I'm also a short-termer.
Okay, you're both. Okay.
So I'm both. I'm all of it. I just love men. Yeah. I love this. I love men. And I think that they're such interesting creatures.
Oh, yeah. I mean, interesting would be a good word to use.
And if I were to say, yeah, they're interesting. But when I first started this, before I started doing the research in what it takes to be a dating coach and what it takes to do the matchmaking, because I coached both men and women. So, but prior to doing that, I was a man hater.
Okay.
Because I did not understand them.
Yeah.
I did not understand them. And you just do a little bit of research to just kind of understand the male perspective, how they function, just naturally. And you understand even a slight bit of that. You learn to love them.
And you learn to look at them differently.
Yeah.
Because as much as we like to think we're the same, we're not.
We're not.
We think much differently.
And we need completely different things. We communicate very differently. We're basically speaking two completely different languages.
Yeah.
And we need to learn to be bilingual.
Yeah.
Because so many women are just expecting, they're talking to their men or the men that they're dating, and they want them to basically be hairy females and respond to them the way their girlfriends do.
And mind readers.
And mind readers.
Yeah.
Oh, and mind readers. And just understand all the emotions.
How could he not know that I wanted him to bring me flowers on Wednesday?
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
Did you tell him that you wanted flowers on Wednesday?
Yeah.
No? Well, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're mad about it. It's so true. And I'm still guilty of it.
And one thing I'll recommend to anyone who wants to hear the male perspective, there's so many dating podcasts out there with male hosts that answer questions, specifically the J Train podcast with Jared Freed and You Up with Jared Freed as well. Same thing. It's a male and female co-host, but you get the male perspective and he's extremely honest.
Yes.
And he will not hold back.
No.
So he will not tell you what you want to hear if you write him in with a question. And it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's making me think of things differently too.
And it feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You kind of look at them a little differently.
And I mean, we have to remember too that like we have control over how we feel.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to feel like they're assholes.
No.
If we just think of it a bit differently.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's assholes out there.
There are, for sure.
And there's a lot of them, just like there's a lot of asshole girls out there.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Girls, and like I'm friends with a lot of guys and I hear about it all the time. And I'm like, we're not so great either.
No.
We're humans in general just can be not great.
And everything I'm saying about guys, just like understanding men and how they think and stuff like that, it's the same for men.
Same.
You
thing.
really truly need to go and learn how women think, how they tick. And the men say that women are so complicated. I remember I was talking about, have you seen the meme on Facebook where it's like the book is this long sitting on the table or this thick sitting on the table? And they're like, the manual for understanding women, volume 1. And it's like, it's really not that complicated.
No.
We are complicated creatures, but not as complicated as you think.
Yeah.
We just want to be loved. We just want you to show your love to us. We want to be protected and
Listened
taken care
to.
of. And we need to be listened to.
Yeah. I think that's such a huge one.
Such a huge one.
Because so many people think that they're listening, but that they're not.
They're just listening to talk again. And that's just humans in general, not just men.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Listening to talk again.
But it was funny because I was actually having a daddy-daughter date with my dad today prior to coming here.
Oh, nice.
Because it was my birthday.
Oh, yes.
So he took me out to dinner. And his friends, he's got a good group of friends. My mom and my dad have a good group of friends in Truro.
Yeah.
And there's this one man, and I don't know what it is. I had met him, but he just like, women love him.
Yeah.
What do they call him? They call him Frank with no hanky-panky or something like this. So he's just like this super flirtatious old guy. And like women everywhere just love him. And dad was asking me today, he said to Frank, he's like, my daughter loves you, but I don't get it. I don't get why. And he's like, why do you love him so much? I was like, because he listens to what I'm saying. He makes direct eye contact. He has a big smile on his face when he's listening to me talk. And he asks me about my life.
Such simple things.
And he
that we could do.
listens.
Such simple things.
Yeah.
And confidence.
Yeah.
We often forget about that factor.
Oh, we do forget about that factor.
That is... Okay, can I ask you a question? This is just totally off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to confidence, and this is for both men and women, can you be confident but still be have self-deprecating humor?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're like, oh, God.
Because
Thank goodness.
I'm very self-deprecating. And I'm also like, I call out the real things in the world and life and stuff, and I say it like it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people mistake that for insecurity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For what people?
Friends, just people, like people on social media. And like, I think it's self-deprecation is interesting because I think you do have to have a level of self-confidence to even do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like to be self-aware.
Yeah.
About like messed up things about yourself and just be like, well, I still love myself anyway, even though I suck at that. Because you can still love yourself even though you're not great at everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think there's a certain amount of confidence to call that out into the public too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Not a professional in that aspect, but yeah, I kind of have a little bit of self-deprecating humor too, but I'm freaking fabulous. So.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this so much. I just like have 1,000 questions for you.
This is like every cocktail party I ever go to.
I bet you're like so sick of talking about it. Cause
no.
But you know why it is? Because you're one of the only people in Halifax. You're the only person in Halifax.
Only person east of Montreal.
That does this.
Yeah.
So it's a fascinating profession.
Yeah.
To have, and it's different.
Yeah.
And it's also very needed. So
yeah.
I think that's another reason people are like, what? Tell me everything.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what you know.
But I never get sick of talking about it. I'm so obsessed with it and so passionate about it that even just talking to you right now about it, it just constantly involves my profession.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
You can't just sit there and plot in the dark by yourself about, what your thoughts are. You have to bounce it off people that are in it and grinding it.
We talked about this over DMs before we even met.
Yeah.
Like you said the words, you're like, we're both ladies on the battlefield of dating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's That's what it is. Because I never really like taking advice from people who have just had a linear, like, met someone, fallen in love, and stayed together. That is very sweet, and I think it would make a great Nicholas Sparks novel. But I don't want to I don't want to take your advice because you haven't struggled.
No.
And dating is a struggle. Okay, I'm gonna get to my main question. This is like this is the big question that I have for you.
The juicy one.
Why do you think, based on your experience in this and both your personal and obviously working in the business that you have, why do you think it's so hard for some people to date versus others? Men and women, because I bet you that there may be different reasons, maybe. But like typically from what you've seen with your clients coming in expressing like their concerns or like their frustrations, what do you think it is? Like, is it the landscape? Is it personalities? Or do we not know? Maybe we don't know.
We know.
Oh, do we?
Oh, we 100% know. The only thing is that it's a million things.
It's so many things.
It's a million things. So I could just start spouting off. I saw this in the questions and I was like, I'm going to wing that one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of theories that I have in this regard. There's some people that walk into my matchmaking consultations and even just talking to them for 10 minutes, there's so much jadedness in them.
There it is.
That I'm like, there will have to be a lot of work just in regards to their personal growth before I can even set them on a date with somebody. So there's a lot of that, just carrying hurt from past relationships. That is huge. And just having a lot of personal growth. That's the person in particular.
Yes. And I love that you said the word jaded.
Yeah.
Because that's a big one.
Yes.
And I think that with that, like you might see someone who was single for a year and is just really jaded because the breakup that they had a year ago is still fresh.
Yes.
Or someone like me who's like, it's been 9 years and it feels hopeless.
Yeah.
So there's a natural jadedness.
Yeah.
And I joke that I'm jaded all the time. I don't want to be jaded though.
No.
So
Nobody
this is
does.
where people like you come in handy.
Yeah.
Because if you can even, and I don't know if it's part of your business, but like sell, like almost like life coaching in the sense that you're coaching people into the dating world, like about self-confidence and love and enjoying life alone.
Yeah.
That's such an important part.
Yeah.
Of life.
It is 100%. And it's interesting you say that. We actually do have, we have seminars, Wing Woman and Wingman Night. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Yeah. So Wing Woman is basically getting women into the room. They're all single. And we just teach the basics around dating. Majority of it. Now I like to get into tips and tricks because that's really what people are looking for. They're like, how do I make this work? But I really love the foundation, which is mindset and confidence when dating.
Yeah.
So that has a lot to, mindset is huge. I mean, okay. So I used to be a man hater and we got off topic because we do. That's how we roll.
Us.
Yes.
Yeah. No, this is, you're on the right podcast. It's all over the place. I sent you a guideline, but really, truly, like
we keep going back to it. The foundation's there.
I know, right?
We're here again. We're back again. That was a question.
You used to be a man hater.
You used to be a man hater.
You're talking to kind of a current man hater. So
okay.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Used to be a man hater, started understanding men, and I hated dating. Dating was very much like, I'm going to go on this first date, and I have a list of questions that I'm going to ask this guy.
If they don't pass this test, and they're out.
And if there's an X on any of this, I am never seeing them again. You know what I mean? But like that poor man.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is go on the date and have some frickin' fun.
Yeah.
Like like the mindset when you go dating, we just take it as an interview process. And the reason we do that is online dating, number one, because we can go on a million dates. We can go on 10 dates a week if we wanted to, especially women. Well, women could go on 10 dates a week if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And we can make that a job interview where it's like, okay, you know, but when you see that, that's not natural.
No.
That is not natural at all. So I'm all about going back to old school. I'm anti-online dating, but I'm not anti-online dating because I do know a lot of couples that have met online. I'm anti like Tinder dating, having it on an app on your phone.
Like a swiping app.
A swiping app on your phone. I believe it's a tool out of your dating toolbox to help you date, but I 100% do not recommend having it on your phone for a lot of reasons. But just to go on a date every now and then and have fun.
Okay, so this is something that it's interesting that you say that. This summer, me and my friend Shannon Hey, Shannon.
Oh, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon. Girl.
Hey, Shannon.
We did something crazy where we started a podcast around the concept of us dating more.
Okay.
And it was called Sarah and Shannon Kiss Some Dudes. Because we were talking about kissing and how like we just want to make out and like let's date more and like maybe having this podcast will motivate us to date more. I noticed this not just with her, but like with other girlfriends too, that there's this thing that happens sometimes where they're like, I have a date on Thursday, but I'm not really looking forward to it.
Yes.
And they get excited to cancel their dates.
Yes.
So as soon as they find a reason, oh, there's a movie playing on Thursday night that we need to go see, so you can't go on that date.
Yeah.
As soon as there's a reason to cancel, they feel excited. And I'm like, if that's where you're at, maybe dating ain't for you right now.
No.
Do you know
Also,
what I mean?
Dating mediocre people.
Yeah.
Online dating puts a lot of mediocre people in front of you. And for some reason, not just us mean, but like...
No, you're right though.
It puts a lot of people that you are not compatible with. If you were to meet a man in person and you knew that you were attracted to him or you had a great conversation and he asked you out on a date, let me tell you, you were not canceling that date for a movie.
No.
You know what I mean? But if you booked an online, like if you met somebody online and like they're okay, but not great, and they want to go for a coffee and it was like the 7th date that week or the 7th date that month, and you just want to cancel it because it's another coffee date and it's not enjoyable.
Why are you doing it?
Why are you doing it?
I think a lot of people think that it's like job interviews. Like, oh, it's just because, you ever go on a job interview when you know you don't want the job?
Yeah.
Because you want, and there's this phrase when you're like in your early 20s where it's like, it's interview experience. And you're going to, it's like in your 30s, like I often say, I'm just like, I don't need interview experience. I want the job.
Yeah.
So if I don't want the job, I'm not taking the interview. No. I already know I'm okay. I'm great at interviews. I don't need
just
it.
Like you're probably great at dates.
I think I'm pretty good at dates. I think I talk too much because I never made the joke before. I treat it like a podcast episode.
Yeah.
Too much. Where I'm just like asking. I'm like, and they're like, what do you do? What's your life like? I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. More about you.
Yeah.
like I'm a chatty Cathy.
Yeah.
I have no, but that's
a great thing to do. Then you have to go do an activity. That's my recommendation. Too many people are, too many people are going to coffee and sitting at the coffee place for 500 hours and just talking about their childhood and all this stuff. And that's all well and good, but go have fun with each other. Chemistry is not you sitting at a table like this, staring at each other.
Oh my God, you're so right.
45-minute coffee is all you need. And then go to the waterfront, jump on a scooter and scoot around.
And also, like, you have so much time to talk about all the, because that's, I think, what makes dating fun is gradually getting to know someone. Yeah. It shouldn't be talking about, because I went on date. I went on one date this summer where we were like actually talking about like, our depressions and like we got real deep, and I love that. But I was like also just like, oh, well, now the mystery is totally gone.
Yeah.
And like we've just like talked about our baggage. Like that should be way down the line.
Yeah, that's like a second, third, fourth date.
Yeah, absolutely.
First date is just to basically see if there's chemistry.
See if there's a vibe.
We already know, hopefully before the first date, you know there's attraction because you've met in person.
Right.
Somewhere, doing something fun.
Right.
Like at a party or through a friend or at a networking event or something.
Something physical.
Yeah, where you've already met.
Yeah.
And then the date, which makes it a romantic thing, is where you're seeing if there's chemistry. And then after that comes the compatibility. Okay, so compatibility. So with your matchmaking business, how do you determine this? Compatibility? Oh, gosh. I sit down with everybody for an 1.5-hour consultation. So first it starts with a phone consultation because there's a lot of tire kickers and they just want to kind of know the information. The minute they know that they have to pay for it, they're like, nah.
Of course you got to pay for it. It's a business.
Which is fine.
It's a service that you're providing.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's just like a quick little consultation. Also, there's some red flags that I can get on the phone consultation where I know that I couldn't work with them.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Not often. I really am like, I believe there's a Jack for every Jill. So I'll go on, like most of the time I will go on pretty much every consultation that I can. Because I'm like, I went and I did some studying on matchmakers. I went down to DC last weekend and met a couple matchmakers. And these people will charge $15,000 to $50,000 to one client to go on as many dates as possible to find their partner.
Whoa.
And it's called like elite matchmaking.
Holy shit.
Which is, what they've always charged. I mean, matchmaking is one of the first professions that ever existed. So it was always very expensive and it was always like very much working with them. But I almost want to be a matchmaker for the people because I honestly think that there is a Jack for every Jill.
Oh.
There was this one guy, I remember this and it's really vivid, and it was probably 6 months ago. He came in and he was a weird looking guy and he was like not dressed. Do you want me to turn that off?
Oh, no worries. I also get like kind of assessing your phone and being like, if something emergency happens,
Oh,
you
no.
need-
There's no matchmaking emergencies. Nothing that can't wait. But and he came in and he was super goofy looking, and this was before I kind of found a good place to kind of get away from people. But there was this couple that was sitting right next to us, and I think that they knew that it was a matchmaking consultation. And after he left, the guy leaned over and he's like, "Ooh, I bet you wish you didn't waste an hour with that guy." And my first thoughts were, there's a Jack for every Jill.
yeah.
Like, don't even. You know what I mean? Like, he was the sweetest man. Yeah. He was kind. He was genuine. He's just looking for the love of his life.
Aww.
And he like a little Comic-Con guy, and he just wanted like a little Comic-Con girl. And I'm like, you know what? If I sit down with a Comic-Con girl, I'm going to send them on a date. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would I? Ugh.
Well, I think that people get this weird, they view other people as, like, do you ever hear a girlfriend say, you're too good for him?
Yeah. Even
Okay.
before they even know who he is.
And I
Thinking
can
about him.
understand if they're not treating that person right.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there's obviously exceptions to that, but I think you're right. I think it's just a matching.
It is a matching thing.
It's a matching thing.
Yeah.
And we often forget about that.
Yeah, we do.
And because we're so loyal to that girlfriend, we're like, no, you're better than this. It's just like, well, maybe I'm just different.
Yeah.
Maybe I need a different person.
Yeah. And that's another thing that you were talking about. Like, why is dating so hard for some people?
And I'm mostly asking that because it's really hard for me.
Yeah, no,
I'm
totally.
being selfish.
And it's funny because I was going to actually say because we're in a society of selfish people.
We are.
So basically, and it's not like I'm not against the self-love movement, but you know how you see on all the memes on Facebook being like, don't settle for anybody unless they check these 14 things.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yes.
And it's like basically, you know, and I'm a single woman myself. I also love being single. So in order to stop being single, my partner will have to be amazing. And thank goodness that I am still single because the person that I'm going to meet now is going to be amazing.
Right.
But I know when you live in a society of selfish people, that's not conducive to healthy relationships because relationships are built on meeting each other 100%. You were saying like meeting in the middle.
Meeting down the street.
You can't have two selfish people in a functional relationship.
No.
They don't argue well, which arguing is necessary. They don't argue well. They don't communicate well. I mean, my parents have been married and are insanely happily married still.
Yeah.
But they have basically invested in each other 100% their entire life. There's not a selfish bone in their bodies.
Right.
Both of them.
Right.
And so we've kind of created a society of selfish people. And it's very hard to find partners because the girlfriends are like, you're too good for him. And you're like, yes, I am too good for him. But why? Right. Why are you too good for him? Or he's like, she's not this enough. She's not that enough. And, you know, why?
Yeah. I also think this might be controversial, but I think it's a cop-out response. So,
yeah, okay.
And I mean this more so, not so much in terms of dating. Or like if you're dating someone and then you break up, but more so like say you're pursuing someone and they reject you and then your friends are like, you're too good for him. I'm like, no, he might just not feel the same way about me.
Exactly.
And I think that's a cop out because there's a good quote from Clueless. Like there's a meme Clueless where
classic.
it's like,
love it.
If I'm too good for him, why isn't he with me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, exactly. Like
Yeah.
if I'm too good for him,
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a guy in the world that if a catch that they thought was out of their league came their way that they would turn down.
No.
So I think we got to be honest here and say like
not compatible.
sometimes it's compatibility and it's
Yeah.
just they just didn't feel the same and that's
timing.
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for them
okay.
not to feel the same way.
And they're not a bad person.
No.
They're not a bad person.
That's another thing. Can females stop like going on a manhunt and being like, he didn't like you, so like I'm gonna be a bitch to him. It's like, no, he just didn't like me.
I know. That's a hard one too.
It is hard because I understand the protectiveness. Now, unless you really screw someone over, or
if you do something bad.
there's-
Oh yes.
But like if it's just simply like
You're just ending
I
it.
don't, like the person doesn't want to date you,
Yeah.
like a rejection kind of thing.
Yeah.
We have to recognize that literally it's just they don't feel the same.
Yeah.
He's just not that into you. So
Girl, you gotta be a
cliche.
matchmaker. Do you want to be a dating coach?
I mean, I think I would be your worst dating coach because I have such little experience and it's been 9 years.
You have a lot of good thoughts though.
I mean, I think because I've been talking to people in relationships a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard for me. And okay, I need to ask this too. Do you ever get women specifically going to you and being like, I get told that I'm too intimidating
Yes.
to men. Because I get that response all the time.
Do you want to get controversial?
Yes.
I actually have a blog about this.
I love this and I want to read it.
So honestly, I don't feel, and I'm an intimidating girl. Like in the intimidation, like there's a lot of men that are intimidated by me, and there's a lot of men that are intimidated by a lot of women. But at the same time, the right man is not going to be intimidated by you.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
and also
Ding.
there's a,
Ding ding.
Oh yeah. And
Ding,
there's
ding.
also, there's a lot of women that also like the intimidation, the amount, okay, the type of intimidating woman that I am now compared to the type of intimidating woman I was when I was a man hater are two completely different things.
Right. Because it's more positive.
Yes. When I was a man hater, I was intimidating because I would rip them to pieces on the date. I would ask them all of those questions. I would basically sit there with a checklist and check.
You're
Do you know what I
judging.
mean? So, and
You're judging them pretty much.
Yeah. So they're not intimidated by me. They're scared shitless of me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, being scared and being intimidated are two different
No, exactly. But now they're intimidated because they're like, oh, she's confident. She knows exactly what she wants. She has a abundance mindset, which basically means if it doesn't work out with him, she has a million other options.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of men that are intimidated by me now. So yes, that's an actual, it's true. There's
And it's
a lot
also
of
a
men
thing
that
we
are-
get spouted a lot, I think.
It's a thing that gets spotted a lot as an excuse for not putting yourself out there enough. Because, to say that men are intimidated by you, it depends on what type of intimidation.
It depends on what that is. Yeah, and I just
Are you
don't
being
think-
rude to him? Is that why you're intimidated?
Well, I think what happens specifically with me is that people see a strong personality as intimidating.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, I'll use the example of when I'm at a bar with friends and I've had a few drinks.
Yeah.
This actually happened last night. Ooh! I'll tell this story now.
Yes, go.
So, I was at a bar last night and I was being really loud and really vulgar. And a lot of times my friends do this. They're like, Sarah, just,
Oh, yeah.
bring it. And I love that you said, because you relate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tone it down. Tone it down.
Yeah.
And the server came at a very weird time when I was talking about my hookup buddy, because I have a hookup buddy that I've had since 2013.
Yeah.
And he came in at a weird time and he was like, oh, I came in at a weird time. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I looked right at him. Didn't miss a beat. And I go, oh, yeah, we were just talking about how I have a hookup friend and how I've tasted his balls since 2013 and he won't give me a right swipe on Tinder.
Oh.
And all my friends go, whoa, Sarah. Whoa. And he didn't flinch.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he goes, really? I'd right swipe on you. And I got a number.
Oh.
I got a number last night.
Really? Yeah.
He wrote his number on a receipt and brought it back.
Did he actually?
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
servers don't do that a lot, just so you know.
They don't?
No.
Okay. The movies have taught us wrong.
Yeah. No.
So that's a perfect example of I've been hanging around people who see that as you gotta tone it down. You gotta tone it down. But he liked it.
And that's who you want.
Like I was vulgar as fuck.
Yeah.
Like most people wouldn't say that.
No. Just right. The right guy will not be intimidated by you.
And that's what it is.
And that's why we want to be intimidating.
Yeah.
As long as it's not rude or like over,
Yeah,
but-
you shouldn't be rude.
No, like mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, be intimidating. Who cares?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, like, it would make me kind of be more attracted to somebody if they weren't.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want
Because that means they can keep up with you.
Yeah, that's, I think.
And that means
all
that they'll
it is.
like you regardless of who you are. There's nothing worse than somebody who's like, okay, Sarah, like
Tone
your
it down.
boyfriend, tone it down. It's like, dude, love me for who I am.
Yeah, I don't want someone to
Don't
tell me to
change
tone
me.
it down. I want someone to like appreciate the fact that I am up here.
Yeah.
Even if they're down here. I think like, so what's your thoughts on like, how they say like opposites attract and, sometimes like a more outgoing person might be better off with a more introverted. Like, what are your thoughts on that, generally speaking?
Well, when I'm hooking people up, when I'm like matching people up, too similar is bad.
Yeah.
Compatibility wise, they have to be similar. But personality wise, if they're too similar, it's not too good. Like if they're both super quiet,
Right.
It's just gonna be a very, very quiet household. I kind of agree that you need to actually have an outgoing person and an introverted person.
Right. Some balance.
Because I know that if I were to date an outgoing, because I'm extremely extroverted, if I was to date an extrovert guy, it'd be a constant competition. I would never be happy. Right. I need that guy who's extroverted, but will also just kind of allow me to be me.
So a bit extroverted.
Yeah.
Because you never... Cause
likes to be out and about.
What I see all the time too is like there's a lot of women that are with guys that like don't go out with them or like... And I wouldn't want that. Like, I would want them to still come out. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
and like to do stuff.
So it's interesting that they have to have a little bit of that, but maybe more on the introverted side to kind of wind you down.
So I do that. Have you ever heard of the Myers test or whatever it's called? I do that. Oh, God.
What are you?
Oh my gosh, I have it somewhere. I'm extroverted something.
I'm an ENFP. So that's extrovert. What's the N? Intuitive?
Can we look it up?
Extrovert, intuitive. Feeling and perceiving.
Oh,
that's me.
So you can actually do a test, and I do this for like some main people. So I have different levels of matchmaking. So if they're at a higher level of matchmaking, like if they're at the higher tier of matchmaking, I'll do for each date, I'll send in the buyers like their results to see how compatible they are.
Oh, awesome!
And what it's been showing pattern wise, because it costs $6 each time I do it.
Okay.
But what I find pattern wise is that like if you send somebody in who has the exact same, they're actually not compatible. They have to be slightly different.
Differences there.
You do.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what the tests are coming back. Well, I've only done like 12 so far, but like that's what I'm seeing. Oh man. Yeah.
So you do have tiered levels of matchmaking.
We do.
So you can, depending on like what your budget is or like
where you're at in your dating life. Like I have basically the main one is a 3-month boot camp.
Okay, 3-month boot. Oh, what's involved in the dating boot camp?
So it's a 3-month dating boot camp. So it's a minimum of 3 months.
Okay.
And what you get is you get 3 compatibility based dates, which is a matchmaker design date by me. So that's number 1. But what you have to do is this happens a lot of time with people that just need a little bit of tweaking around mindset and confidence with dating is I'll actually, send them into the wing woman nights and wing man nights and just teach them a little bit about mindset. So this is huge so that they come into the dating world with a great mindset. And then there's a dating coach. So that's me. So that's me on the phone with them because and then you have free access to a JE matchmaking event. So that's, the brewery crawl, speed dating. We have mixers. We have all kinds of stuff.
Because you can do these events even not being a client of yours. You can just go.
You just buy a
they
ticket
get the free access.
They get free access. And they get VIP because my events sell out. Like the last one sold out in 3 hours. And this was a month before. So, so they get to completely skip that list and they just get right on it.
Amazing.
So they won't worry about the event selling out, which is kind of cool. So VIP there. And then, also I will coach them in a little bit of online dating.
Right.
So I always recommend to also continue online dating, but only swipe right 5 times a week. That way you don't get overwhelmed and you just read through the profiles a lot more and you can see a lot more compatibility.
Do you mean swipe right or get matches 5 times?
Swipe right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a picky girl.
Yeah. But it's good because then you're going to really read their profile.
Well, I mean, I probably only do that once a week.
Yeah. Okay, cool. There's a lot of people that are like, right. And then they go on a lot of dates with me.
Well, a lot of men do that.
Oh, a lot of men do that. But men get very few matches. Unless you're extremely good looking, you take really great pictures, they don't get any matches.
So I can imagine a lot of is a component of the coaching about how to make a good profile.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
I just kind of tweak the profiles a little bit. I don't really work a lot with online dating, but we do have an aspect of that. Most of it is honestly just, you're going to have a lot of people in your inbox. And my business revolves around dating kindly. So I never allow anybody to ghost. I never allow anybody to say anything nasty. And I also allow people to really observe the red flags, not be a red flag collector, but also when they see a red flag to know what it is and to address it at the time.
Oh, God damn.
So
red flag collector.
Yeah, don't be a red flag collector. That's a lot of people.
I got a bunch of them just like they're overflowing in my pockets.
Oh, I know. So, and then basically it's 3-month boot camp. So they have full access to me. So I'm on the phone all day, which is my favorite. Like, I love it.
Oh, wow.
I love helping people out with all this kind of stuff. And then you go on the compatibility based dates. And these are just high quality dates with high quality people who are also 100% looking, because everybody that I send you on a date with has sat down with me for a consultation for an hour and a half.
So these are people in your database?
Yes.
Okay, so I kind of understand now. So you're matching clients with clients?
Yeah. There's also a couple of people that are free clients, not many, but when I know somebody who is super compatible, okay, and I don't do this often, but I'm actually sending a couple on a date on Thursday. Neither of them are paying, but I love. So I got this new.
So cool.
Oh my gosh, I'm such a chump, but There's this, I got this new matchmaking software and it tells me basically how compatible they are and like they were a 99% compatibility, which I never saw. Like the next one down was like 88%.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So they were 99%. And, he had just finished matchmaking and I wasn't able to find him a match. So I was like, I still felt like, normally I find them a match. So I felt like I needed to like send him out one more time with one more great girl and she couldn't afford the services. So I was just like, you know what? You guys just have the highest match. So I just want to send you on a date. So they're going out on Thursday.
Oh my God.
Fingers crossed. I'm so excited.
You said 99%?
99% compatibility.
How is that even?
I don't know. But that's just basically like they have the same idea around smoking, drinking, 420, family, what if they want children.
So you have
children.
like is it a long list of questions?
Oh yeah.
Like, and do you go real deep with these questions?
It depends on the person. I will go quite deep.
Yeah.
We go a lot into past relationships. We go a lot into your childhood, your upbringing, all that kind of stuff.
Which I think is another like big thing with online dating. It's like so many of these apps. I think one of the, I hope that the question's on there, but like, what kind of relationship do you want? Are you monogamous? Are you there's all these things that you could be. And I think so many times with online dating, we waste our time with people who aren't looking for the same thing.
Totally.
So like, do you find that most of your clients are like, I just legit want like a long-term serious relationship?
Oh yeah.
Or do you get clients that are just like, I just want to date around?
No.
It's
they
mostly
wouldn't be
serious
paying for
people
it unless they're serious.
Right.
Which basically just means if you're coming to a matchmaker, you're already collecting a huge group of people that are just serious. You're just cutting off
You're cutting the fat.
Yeah, you're cutting the fat right away just by coming to a matchmaker. Period.
Wow.
Because everybody is looking.
And this and you're also coming to someone whose job.
Yeah.
Your job and your livelihood depends on you really putting effort into matching these people.
Yes.
I can tell you love it just by like how you talk about it.
I know.
That's good for you.
We could go on for hours.
This is unreal and it's so needed.
Oh, it's so needed.
It's so needed because the online dating truly can make you so jaded.
Oh, yeah.
And it just dulls your shine.
And everybody's like, is online dating competition? I'm like, no, they just throw people at me. Like, seriously.
Mm-hmm. So you never like it is kind of like what you said, a dating toolkit.
Yeah.
So the apps are there.
Yeah.
But it's not everything.
No.
I think too many people think that it's everything.
Oh my gosh. People
You
are
know?
like, okay, I'm dating again. So they download Tinder and they're like, I'm dating. I'm like, that's not dating. Dating is mindset. It's getting out there. It's micro interactions. Like one of the biggest coaching tool that I give people is to just start micro actions because with all of this online stuff, we don't know how to interact with people.
No.
We forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with friends, it's tough these
Even
days.
with friends.
Last night when I was out, I challenged everyone to put their phone in the center of the table
How'd
and
that
not
go?
touch it for 10 minutes.
Did it go
Well,
well?
I was probably the second worst at the table because my friend Nicole, shout out Nicole, works in social media, so she's always on her phone.
Oh, well, yeah, it's her job.
But then me, like, I'm just addicted to my phone. It's the day and age. Like, it's really, even just doing this podcast, I'm like, each podcast is a chance to just look and talk and talk with someone.
Yeah.
So that's, again, why speed dating events, I think, are so interesting.
Yes.
Because it really forces you to, like, converse.
Yes.
I love that.
And it's almost like practice dating in real life, especially for men. Women are very good at dating. Women are very good at, doing the shit test. They're very good. It's natural. Women are very good at dating.
So what are some things that men do? Like, what's the typical issue that you think men have?
Being nervous.
Yeah.
If you're nervous and you look like you're not confident, women will, they get chewed up and spit out.
Yeah.
So if you walk in and just are confident in yourself and you're not nervous, which is why I say that your first speed dating event is almost just like practice and then your second speed dating. So many men will actually come to a first speed dating and get no matches. Then they come to a second speed dating and they get all kinds of matches.
Right. You're getting the hang of it.
You're getting the hang of talking to people again.
And so do you follow up with the people that go to your events and be like, come back to the second one?
Yeah.
Good.
I do that quite a bit. So I rotate it. So basically one speed dating event will be a male returning event and then the following one will be a female returning event. So you're not dating the same people over and over again.
Oh.
There's always some times where it overlaps and you'll go to a speed dating event and you'll have seen like a couple people before because it's a small community here in Halifax.
Right.
But I try to rotate it so you're seeing all new people.
That's so genius.
Yeah.
And where do you normally have these events? Are they just like restaurants, pubs?
Mostly, so Hop Yard is my number one. I love them. They're the best ever. We're actually doing a queer event coming up here soon.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about like stuff like that because I know we've been talking men and women a lot in this episode, but obviously there are so many other people in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Various expressions and loveliness.
Love is love. Absolutely.
So that's excellent. So that you're focusing in. That's great.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
We've done a couple queer events. It's a little tricky. It's a smaller community, right? So it's already a little. It used to be very tricky to get people just to come to a straight event,
right?
But there's a a larger population here. So to even just have an event in a smaller population makes it very tricky,
right?
Also, if you're not specifying in that, it's quite hard to market to it as well,
right?
And I'm not really queer myself, so they like to, you want to be represented by your community, right?
Yeah.
So I love to bring in queer representatives to kind of help me.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So we're hoping to at Hop Yard do a queer pop-up, a bartender pop-up. So we'll be at Hop Yard, and then they're gonna bring in 2 queer bartenders to come and make certain cocktails for the evening, and it to be like a several different type of like queer events. So we could have like straight or gay male, gay female, queer, and then all different types of categories of speed dating.
Right.
And then one big mingle. I'm so excited for that one.
I think the mingling is an interesting idea.
And a dance.
Because just to go to an event where these are all single people here.
They're all single.
Like that'll even in and of itself, like speed dating is great too. But like even just getting single people in a room together.
Yeah.
And see what happens. Because I always hear about like the flashlight parties. You ever hear about that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Or stoplight parties.
Stoplight, I had one of those.
Yeah, those are interesting.
They're fun.
But I mean,
I don't know if I'm ever going to do one again, but
I went with some girlfriends and we just ended up sitting in the corner and we were too nervous to talk to anybody.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of people in yellow.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of yellow.
I have a picture on Facebook because I wanted to make it so obvious that I was green, that I not only wore green, but I took a piece of paper and wrote green in big letters and I posted it on myself and I'm like, green!
Super green, come talk to me.
So green, it's such a go. Like, come on. Oh my God.
Oh,
it's hard to get out of your own way sometimes.
It is.
Just go talk to someone.
It is, but how do you have a problem with that? I feel like you could go talk to anybody.
I don't know. I feel like that's a good question. I mean, I think that one of the main things is I'm 32. A lot of my friends don't go out anymore.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot of us
and they're married with children and all that stuff.
So a lot of times I'm not in the situation to.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
But you'd be surprised how much you actually are in the situation.
Well, I mean, last night I got a number.
But even just to go into a Starbucks lineup and just saying hi to people, little micro interactions. Or even just to walk into a bar and sit at the bar and have a beer by yourself.
I've heard of this.
And talk to the people next to you.
And I used to think it was like, there's no way that could ever.
But once you hit 30, girl, you can.
Yeah. I'll sit at a bar with you any day. Let's go sit at a bar. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. If anybody wants to go out with me, like, we just like
experience
so much fun.
I think that we get stuck in the bad luck stigma. Like, oh, I have such bad luck with guys.
I know.
I suck with guys. And like we get in our own heads.
I know.
And I think that that's like such a big problem.
Yes.
Like we stigmatize ourselves. Like,
yeah.
Like I've said about myself, like I'm not dateable. Yeah. I'm not dateable. I've used that word.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like, how the heck? And like you said, like there's so much like mindset and confidence and self-esteem and like there's a lot of self-work that needs to be done to 100%. Get you out of that mindset.
Yeah.
Is there any tips that you can give anyone? I mean, like obviously hire her.
Yeah.
If you want all of them.
Yes.
But any small things that you can think of for single people like me who it's like been a long time and it seems hopeless and it's tough and it feels like work doing it.
Yeah.
And like there's so much mental gymnastics around it. Like even like with chicks like picking out outfits, like you change like 5 times because you want to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Are there any tips you have to like get yourself out of that like stuck feeling?
Oh, I know that feeling.
That's a big one.
Educate yourself is number 1. Because it's interesting. Life is a tripod. It's health, it's career, and it's relationships. And when it comes to our health, we're not going to go and try to lose a bunch of weight just by like going into the gym when we have no idea. We get trainers, we get nutritionists. When we want a great career, we want to upgrade in like our money life, we go to school and we get insanely educated. But for some reason, when it comes to our relationships, like love relationships, we just go about and we freaking flail in there. And we feel that like going and getting help or seeking help or watching the videos that would help us is almost make us weak. But honestly, it makes you successful in anything. Like if you want to start a business, you educate yourself on finance and marketing and all this stuff. If you want a partner and you want to find somebody to spend your life with, go educate yourself on how to properly find that person. Like I said, men and women are two completely different people. Go learn how men and women think if that's what you're attracted to, and just educate yourself on just, you know, little things that you can do to get yourself out there a lot more. A lot of women, like you said, that you're super busy. One thing that I teach women is to double up your time. So say, for example, are you a gym goer?
I wish. Not right now.
Me too. But say if I was working with a woman who's at the gym all the time, you know, rather than going to your gym, putting on your headphones and jumping on the treadmill and doing your same routine over and over again, join a co-ed class.
Interesting. You can meet people, talk to them there.
So you're already spending that hour working out. Just change it up to something.
You're multitasking.
You're multitasking, which women are so good at.
So what about like someone like me who's like, I'm unemployed, so I'm like just working at this home office studio a lot. Like I take my laptop to a coffee shop for a day.
I meet so many people at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
I meet probably 100 single men on a monthly basis. And it's just from basically sitting down. If I was sitting down with my laptop and I'm working away on the internet, I'll lean to the guy next to me who just sat down. I'll say, do you know the password? Even though I'm on the internet. But even just to say, do you know the password, and having that little bit of interaction with him, there could be a laughter. There could be like something. There could be a joke. There could be anything. I
love that.
It could be just a conversation built up. Even if it is just, hey, do you know the password? And you never talk to him after that. That's totally fine. At least
you did it. You did something and you interacted with another human.
Yeah.
That wasn't a face on an app.
No, exactly.
I've always thought that a fun thing to do, I've always thought that, I've never done it, but I really want to try sometime, is to go to a bar alone.
I'm down. Do it.
With like maybe one friend or two.
Okay.
Probably not more than two. But like some single girlfriends.
Yeah.
And get a pitcher of beer. And be like, oh, there was like so many more people with us when we ordered this and they left. Like, do you guys want to split this with us?
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like where it's kind of a little bit like planned and scripted.
Yeah.
But it is literally a chance. Like if you see a table of cute guys, you know, hopefully they don't have girlfriends. That's something.
But that's okay too. They're humans.
They're
just
humans.
Have a great conversation and move on. You never know who they know.
Oh, that's very true too.
Yeah.
Because I used to get offended at the fact that like friends hadn't set me up.
You should be.
Ever.
It's offensive.
You hear that, friends? Set your girl up.
Yes.
But like that's something that I mean you do it for a job, but like that's something that I think when people in relationships think of their single friends, that feels good.
Yeah.
And we gotta start doing that.
We do have to start doing that.
Single people need to do it. People in relationships, like if you know someone, why the heck not?
I can't
try
do
to
all
make
of this.
something
Okay,
happen.
it's exhausting.
Oh
just have a little get together and invite, like, have your husband invite some single guy friends.
Yeah,
and then have your wife bring some single girlfriends. I mean, that's how it was done.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Back in the day.
Or even just in 2003 when I was in university. That's what I used to do.
So true.
Oh my gosh, it's so
So is dating for yourself? Is doing this as a business, and it's like such a huge part of your life, and you said that you keep yourself up at night thinking about who could match, and that's just so fascinating to me. And, obviously you love it, so that's so great. Yeah, because like you're beaming talking about it. Yeah, and to love what you do in this world is
rare.
Very rare. A lot of people work jobs that they don't really care about that much, and you've self-started something amazing.
Yeah.
Does that make it harder or easier for you to date?
Both, actually.
Really?
Because pretty much every man that I meet, I don't think of them for myself. I think of them for my clients.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would totally be a thing.
That's a thing.
Oh,
and you know that feeling, right?
Oh, that hit me in the heart.
I know.
That really hit me in the heart.
I know. Yeah.
Oh,
so that's probably the hardest part. Also, I'm so woke. Like, I can read a man like a book and just like their intentions when they approach and talk to me. Because I learned to understand them so well. I am very woke in regards to just like
you're very aware.
I'm very aware.
So you're seeing things and you know what they mean kind of thing.
Yeah. So, oh
my God.
But even like I would be an expert in this. I still flub up all the time.
Yeah.
Like often in relationships and dating. And
I mean, there's no like university degree in matchmaking yet. There should be.
There is actually.
Is there really?
Oh yes, I'm taking it.
Shut up.
Yeah.
From where?
To be a certified matchmaker somewhere in the States.
Okay. It's like an online course.
To be a certified matchmaker. Yeah. I'm almost all the way through it. I'm really excited. I learned a lot.
You are an expert.
I'm an expert.
But like, so you must get friggin' advice questions all the time from your friends. You must be overwhelmed with questions.
Yeah.
Constantly.
But they actually stop asking because it's the same thing over and over again. Like everybody's looking for tips and tricks and they ask the same questions over and over again. Foundation, be kind, be confident, have a great mindset, and have fun.
Have fun. Like, it's kind of like a night of drinking. You shouldn't go out drinking when you're depressed and sad and mad.
No.
It's never going to end well. It's the same for dating.
Yeah.
Like you just can't I like that podcast with my friend Shannon, like we had to stop it because I was like, number one, I went through some crazy heartbreak, but like, and then I was overwhelmed with life stuff and I was just like, I actually like, I can't, with all the pockets of energy I don't have enough for dating right now. So like, I can't even fake it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, I can't even go on a date to fake it.
Yeah.
For content or whatever. Like I just can't do it.
No, totally.
So you have to recognize when you're truly not into it.
Absolutely.
And just take that pressure off. Like it's okay to still want a partner.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. I've been single like almost 9 years.
Yes.
And I'm constantly told you have to not want it. And as soon as you don't want it, it will come to you.
That's bullshit.
You heard
That
it from
is
a dating
bullshit.
expert. You heard it from a dating expert. Say it again.
Oh, bullshit. That's what.
Thank you.
That's what like our couple friends say to just basically get us to shut up.
No one who's been single has ever said those words.
No. You have no. They haven't.
It angers me because, and I often come back with jokes being like, well, you know what, like. It's been 9 years. I think I'm allowed to want it. Like I've done my time. Like I've spent the time in prison.
Yeah.
I've done the community service.
Yeah. Have you heard the phrase something similar?
Yeah. What is it?
Where someone says the minute you stop looking, you'll find it.
Yes. Same thing.
So that's a similar thing. But what we don't think about is if you read into that, basically what that means is that you are confident enough in living your life and what you do and living for your purpose that the man that comes into it is a compliment to your life. And
a bonus.
A bonus. And men find that extremely attractive. When a woman knows her worth, and a woman knows, you know, what her purpose is and that she's pursuing it. Yeah. There's nothing in both men and women. Nobody wants somebody needy.
No, neediness is not cute.
So when you're looking for it, and that has nothing to do with, you know, going to a matchmaker, going to events, putting yourself out there is 100% necessary.
Right.
But you also have to know your value.
And I think too, what comes out of that cliche, which we think is bullshit, because I think it's perfectly okay to want it. Yeah. I've wanted a partner for a long time.
Yeah.
Like truly, I really, really do want somebody.
Yeah.
But my mindset is not great.
Yeah.
So I think I'm putting out an energy that isn't attractive.
Yeah.
It's not about me being unattractive.
No, exactly.
It's the energy that I'm putting out.
Yeah.
And so like when you talk about mindset, like it's so important to get there and find other things that make you happy. I had a male friend tell me the other night that like from his point of view, the couples that he's witnessed and the women that he's seen his friends date, it always seems like those women don't have interests outside of their relationships and they make everything about the guy. And they don't have passions and interests outside of that. And it's like, frig, this is what I've been doing for 9 years. I've been finding interests. I've been finding passions outside of that. I've been finding side hustles. Like,
yeah.
So I got all those things.
Yeah.
I still want the bonus.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? I still want that bonus.
Yeah.
I'm still going to live my life.
Yes.
Life goes on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be this like damsel in distress.
No, exactly.
But it's also okay to want that for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone deserves it.
Everybody 100% deserves an amazing partner.
But it's the mindset thing.
It's the mindset. And also opening yourself up to it. you know how you go out with girlfriends? I don't know what you guys were even like yesterday when you guys went out. But like, you know how when you're with your girls, you run off to the corner of the bar and you sit there in a circle that's impenetrable?
Yeah.
I always say, pick out those girlfriends who are also single and also looking. Go to a bar, and if you're sitting at the bar, for example, lean yourself out a little bit and leave a little space between the person here and here, so that men can lean in and women can lean in. Just people.
They can join the convo.
Yeah, can like lean in and grab a beer or a cocktail or something and just like have a little chat with them. And the thing is that sometimes we're so focused on meeting men that we don't realize that, you know, it's not necessarily out there meeting men. It's out there expanding our social circle, which includes talking to women, includes talking to the bartender, includes talking to, you know,
could be new friends. That could.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or even just when you walk into a bar and you're that person that's talking to that bartender and you're the person that said hi to like, hey, how's your night going? It's going good. Thanks. Good. Well, have a great night. You know, it's so great to meet you. My name's Jean-Eva. Great to meet you. And then go about your business. When you run into that guy or a girl 30 minutes later, they're more willing to open up to a conversation with you because you already bridged that gap. So if you're bridging that gap with micro interactions throughout your entire evening, you'll be the queen of the bar within like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And you will leave there with everybody being like, who was that? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it can be tough. And that's the tough part is finding a crew.
Oh, yeah.
Or a tribe.
You got to find a crew.
And I hate putting it on the friends, but like, you know, I hang out with a lot of couples. And so that automatically, you know, if you hang out with a lot of couples, then that kind of closes it off a bit. If you hang out with just guys or say like an equal number of guys and girls, it looks like
crew.
couples.
Yeah.
Or if you hang out with just a guy friend, it looks like you're a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so tricky.
Or just even have like your staple single girlfriend.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't have to be this big evening out with girls. It's like, let's go grab a cocktail.
Right.
And you're also living a fabulous life because how much fun is that?
And sometimes smaller is better. I think like 1 or 2 friends
Plus
would be perfect.
2 women are way more approachable than 1 woman. Or 3 women, sorry.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, interesting. Two
So
versus 3.
Part of the dating coach with men is to, unless you can approach 2 women if you have 2 men. So guys also run in crews.
Right.
But if there's 3 women, 2 men will never approach 3 women.
Really?
Yes. 3 men will approach 3 women, but 2 women will never approach 3 women.
1 man might approach 2.
Maybe.
If he's really confident.
Yeah. If he's really confident. Exactly. Which is cool. But yeah.
What about the art of wing womaning and wing manning?
Yes.
That's an art.
It is.
Perfected.
Yeah. I actually don't know much about that.
Yeah.
What I'm creating with like the wing woman and the wing man is I want to create that crew.
Camaraderie kind of thing.
Like you said, all your friends are couples or a lot of your friends are couples.
Yeah.
Like when you come to a wing woman, you're meeting like 25 other women that are also single and have the same mindset.
Right.
They're the best to go out with because you're both in the like, I want to meet people and have fun. I don't want to sit here and have a really deep conversation about life. That's not how I'm feeling tonight. I want to go meet some cool people. Let's go meet some cool people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Who do you think are more competitive with one another?
Women or men?
Yeah.
Men.
Do you think?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say women.
I don't know. It's really interesting. I actually do wing woman nights and I'm really good interacting with women because I'm just very good at that.
Yeah.
But like when I started doing the wingman nights, I realized, oh gosh, I can't do this. I need to bring in a male to do this. Because just to watch those men. So there was 5 men the first time I did it. And there was like this, like they instantly established a hierarchy that I never experienced.
Really?
With women. Oh yeah. It was so
like
interesting.
the alpha male.
Yeah. And they were
one?
like digging at each other a little bit. It was the weirdest thing. And have you ever watched groups of guys, like guy friends? Their entire conversation is just like ripping each other to pieces.
It's true, ball busting.
And it's like to find the hierarchy in the male group.
Oh boy.
So, but competitive wise, like in regards to, I don't know.
I don't
know.
I guess what I'm thinking is like women can get pretty cutthroaty.
Oh, they can.
Like with each other.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it does happen, and I've been on both ends of that, where I've been the chick I was into a guy and he went for my friend. I've been the other way around. Like it's tough,
yeah,
and it's a tough thing to deal with.
Yeah,
and I think that's another good thing about these events is like you could go by yourself and just not even be with people. Friends that you could be competitive with kind of thing. Yeah. I also think it's important to be friends with people who aren't into the same type of guys as you.
It's true.
Because then you can just avoid that entirely.
Absolutely.
Like me and my friend Shannon, like we don't like we're just attracted to two totally different people.
Yeah.
Like so it
or
actually
just
works
hang out
out
with
great.
somebody that will just be your biggest cheerleader, like regardless.
Yeah.
It's also, you know, I associate myself with people that are my biggest cheerleaders.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, there's besties, of course, but then there's like years long relationships that have a lot of stuff there. But yeah, just your biggest cheerleaders are great.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
but also, you were saying something that I wanted to respond to, but now I can't remember what it was.
If you think of it, just say it.
I will.
Spread it out.
I will.
But going back to like how you said, because this is fascinating to me, about how you like you find it hard because you see people and you want to match them with your clients or people you know. Is there a way to separate that? Like, how do you separate your business life from your personal? Like, do you literally just turn it off and say, I'm not working tonight, I'm going out for me?
Never.
No, you're
No.
always working.
Always working.
True entrepreneur here.
I was working on my birthday
Always
yesterday.
working.
Oh my God. I will be working on my wedding day.
You'll be matching people on
my wedding day. I'm like, hold on, hubby. Seriously, I will be.
I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. But do you ever feel the need to turn it off?
No.
Really?
Not really, no. I'm just obsessed with it. I just love people and I love the dynamicness of them all. And you like the reason why, and it's interesting is when I was in geomatics and I was a GIS, within a year I was an expert. Well, not an expert, but within a year I was freaking bored. But when you work with people, you're never going to be an expert. So you're constantly like, that's why you're going to love this for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's like people are so fascinating and you're never going to be an expert at people.
Right.
Right?
Oh, no, because people are such wild cards.
Oh, they are. They're so cool and fascinating. So maybe eventually someday I'll be like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
But the thing about matchmaking is basically the older you get, the more people are like, I want to hire you. Like I'm going to be old and crippled, and people are like, oh, you must be a great matchmaker.
They want your knowledge.
Oh yeah, it's like Fiddler on the Roof. The older, the better.
Are there any success stories that you've seen over your 2 years that you're like particularly proud of?
Well, there is this poly couple that I put together, which I'm really proud of. Only because one half of the couple was a really, really good friend of mine. She was my queer consultant. And she's an amazing just queen. Oh. Yeah. And it was just, she just kind of like sat in on a speed dating event because I didn't have enough people. And that's where they met. Was at that speed dating event, and it was just like they were just perfect for each other at that time, and it's just working really well.
Oh my God.
So that was huge.
That's amazing.
There was also this one that was really interesting. It's an indirect coupling. I get a lot of indirect ones.
Ooh.
So like I really, as much as I want to like hook you up with your partner by me sending you on a date with this one.
Right.
As much as I want that to happen, I also want to give you the skills to go out and meet them yourself.
Right.
That is
it might
almost
not
just as
necessarily
valid.
be that you're here's the person, but you're teaching them.
I'm teaching them how to do
You're
it.
giving them the skills.
Yeah, that's
so,
almost
you're
just
teaching
as
them
amazing.
how to fish.
Yes, rather
Teach a
than
man
just
to fish.
giving them a fish. Oh my gosh, I'm going to use that.
Yeah, you got it.
That's a good one.
That's, I mean, because I think because what I was going to say was like, do you ever, like, how do you, because it's a business, so people are paying for your service. And like you said that sometimes people don't match or it's not a match. They get the 3 dates and then they don't end up matching with anyone. Does anyone get like, I want my money back?
No.
Oh, good.
I haven't gotten that yet.
So they've taken away a lot from it.
Yeah.
Probably than they ever thought going into it.
Yeah. Well, I did have one woman go through just recently. She just went on her 3rd date, and she and I actually became really good friends. We're almost like besties right now.
Oh, amazing.
But she basically, what she learned was she was like you. Her last boyfriend was in university. She's 32 now, owns her own house. She's a badass and very intimidating and all this kind of stuff. But basically what she learned is she came out the other side and she's like, I've just gone on dates with amazing men. You've taught me that there's amazing men out there. You've given me a couple of skills to basically kind of go do it myself. I'm always going to keep her in my database. She's like number 1 to send really great guys on dates with because she's such high quality and she's gorgeous. And so yeah, that alone, just leaving with that kind of experience is nice.
Oh, wow.
You know, she just feels a little different.
A little bit better about everything.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily getting the relationship.
No.
But it's making you feel better about maybe not having it.
And just having more fun dating.
Yeah.
Just realizing
that's
that
so
dating
key.
isn't the worst thing ever.
No.
Yeah. So although my end goal is to partner people up, and it's usually on the third date.
Right.
So the first two are almost.
The third date is always the kicker. Like it's the shit or get off the pot.
Oh, I don't
one.
mean like the third date. That I mean like the third date I send them on.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You not okay.
But yes, the third date is shit to get off the pot.
It kind of is, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for the common folk listening who are maybe single and dating, what do you think? What, in your opinion, what's a good setting for a first date?
First date. So all of my dates for matchmaking are designed. I'd have them all designed.
Oh, interesting. So you actually
I set up the
design.
date
Oh, tell
and
me
design
about
the date.
this. How do you do that?
So matchmaker design dates. So I have just basically a plethora of options. But my favorite one is I like the first like part of it. It's in 3 parts.
Ooh.
Never longer than 3 hours.
No.
For the first date.
long.
But the first part is going to sit down and have a coffee. Just to make sure that you're both not axe murderers, you know? Yeah.
Can you imagine an axe murderer in a coffee shop?
I'm sure it's happened.
Probably.
Probably we've all gone on a date with one, I'm just saying. But
so that's the first hurdle or the first.
yeah.
It's the first initial meeting.
Just to realize that you wouldn't mind spending more time with people.
Right.
With them. Do you know what I mean? And also to have the mindset when you go dating, you're just meeting cool people. Like let's chill out in regards to like making sure that they're that partner. Just go meet some cool people. But we're getting off topic. We're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
So 45 minutes of grabbing a coffee and then do an activity. Ooh. I always recommend doing an activity because chemistry is not just sitting and interviewing each other. It's like moving and interacting with another and laughing and touching. Like, you know how a guy will say something funny while you're walking down a sidewalk and you're like,
yeah.
And it's like that first touch and like the sparks
so
fly.
right.
It's an activity. Also, when you're doing an activity, you're not staring at one another. You're kind of like either walking and you can talk out to the world rather than like directly at one another.
Right. So you're seeing how this person interacts with the world.
Yes. Exactly. And also like, and my favorite thing is to go rent those scooters down the waterfront. I think those are so much fun. People have gone kayaking. People have jumped on the Silva. People have just gone through walks through the park, gone to grab ice cream. And then usually after that part, if the guy designs the date. Well, me and the guy design the date together. And just to keep things kosher, the guy will pay for everything.
I love that.
But he also designs the date based on his budget. So I mean, how much really is to go grab a coffee and go for a walk and grab ice cream and then call it quits?
Okay, I love that. So he says, I have $50.
Yeah.
And you work with that 50.
And I never recommend a guy spend any more than $50 on a first date.
No, that's ridiculous.
Don't take
Even
a girl
50,
out for a big dinner.
I mean, my standard first dates have always just been drinks.
Yeah.
That's
a good one. Drinks are great.
But that's mostly because I'm just like, my true self is I'm an evening person.
And
so that's why I don't like the coffee dates.
Yeah.
I would rather, but I just like alcohol too, I think.
Yeah.
It loosens people up.
It does. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I like the drink dates too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coffee
or a
activity.
drink, yeah. And then an activity.
Interesting.
And then if the guy really likes the girl, if at the end he can say, do you want to go grab apps somewhere? And then you can go sit on a waterfront somewhere or go and grab a drink somewhere or something like that. I love that. Yeah. So the girls and the guy and the girl are completely aware of what the date's going to entail. Prior to going, they have pictures of them. They have a whole description of them.
Interesting.
I have rules. No first kiss, no last name, no phone numbers, and you can't cancel the day of unless it's an emergency. And then they sleep on the date. So they don't like call me right after to be like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. They sleep and they talk to me the next day. And so say, for example, I sent you on a date with somebody and he really liked you, but you were not into him. I would be the one to communicate to him that it's not a good romantic fit and he'll never have your last name, never have your phone number, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, easy peasy.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And no first kiss.
You can't go for a first kiss. General rule, men, never go for a first kiss on the first date.
Really?
Never. Never. You don't know that person well enough.
Actually, I 100% agree. I don't think I've ever had that.
I've had guys try and it just bugs me. Because if you're like drinking coffee and going on an activity, your breath does not smell that great.
There, no first kiss, but maybe a desire.
And a hug is always great.
Oh, hugs are good.
Yeah.
Because that's always a very awkward moment on a date. That goodbye moment.
Yeah.
And okay, what's your stance on the logistics in terms of driving and picking up, and do you meet there and just part ways? Because the driving drop off goodbye is the most awkward one.
It is.
Because you can't really, like, if we're sitting in a car, like,
Yeah.
I can't really, like it's just awkward.
That wasn't awkward. I really loved it. Like, oh my God, what was that?
Look, you did. But you know what I mean? It's an
Yeah.
awkward way to say goodbye to somebody.
Yeah.
Is in the car. So I feel like
I say meet there.
I feel like
Meet there
meetings-
and just jump
And
in the
I've had
car.
so many dates where they're like, "I'll pick you up. It's fine." And I'm like, "Okay," but like, it is really awkward getting in a car the first time meeting someone.
Yeah.
Like driving to your evening of plans.
Yeah.
Like it's.
But I think dating just can be awkward in general too. But like
Yeah,
second date,
so
I think you
awkward.
can pick them up and send them home. But I say first date, just have a quick exit if you need it.
I love that.
It's safety first.
And do you ever have people who just bail after the coffee? They're just like, "This ain't gonna work."
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
Well, the dates that they're going on, they're already really high quality people. So I always encourage everybody to go at least till the end of the activity.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've had people call me and they're like, "Oh, that's the worst date I've ever been on, blah, 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 blah."
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's usually just because like at that time I had just started the business and I wasn't very good at pre-screening people and they were already just kind of negative people.
Right.
So-
So you've kind of perfected it. Because
yeah.
you've been doing this how long? 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So you really screen. God damn, it's such a good service. No, like I know I'm like kissing your ass right now,
Yeah.
but truly, what's your typical customer? So like,
Yeah.
is it typically people like age wise, lifestyle wise? Is it typically people who do have a little more money to spend on something like this?
It's interesting.
Like working professionals, do you
Working
think?
professionals 100%.
Yeah.
Because it is $150 a month.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not crazy.
That's not
No.
not doable.
No, it's not doable if you have a decent job.
Yeah.
But I have everything. I have like really high up. Like I've recently started getting some executive customers.
Oh wow.
So there's a tier up there that's really, really high up. But the majority of the time it's just people who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s. And
Typically not 20s, eh?
we have some men in their late 20s, very few women in their
Okay.
in their 20s.
Okay.
Mostly men in their 30s, 40s, 50s.
Got you.
You know, professionals, been done university, have been working for a while, have a little bit of disposable income. That's kind of really what I'm working with.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot, I really, just for like success wise in business, executive is the way to go. Like
Hell
the
yeah.
real rich people.
Oh yeah.
But to be honest with you, I can't stand rich people. I never really liked them that much anyhow. So I like to just work with everyday people, just normal people
I love that.
that just need a little bit of help.
They just need a bit of help.
And they don't need a lot of help. Like most people don't need a lot of help. They just need a little bit.
right.
Just a little nudge, just to open themselves up a little bit.
And I mean, 3 months is a good amount of time to do that because you're really getting to know people in that
totally.
3 months. It's just the right amount of time. It's not too much. It's not totally out of the realm.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, whew. And so when you do the 3 dates, is there a lot of time between the dates that you arrange? A month. Okay, so 1 date a month.
Yeah. And most of the time, the third date actually takes longer than the 3 months. So because I've already seen how they've interacted in events, like it's very important to come to the events if you're part of this program because I can see who you're attracted to. I can see how you interact with people. I can really observe you at these events and kind of like read you a little bit.
Right.
So as I see you go through these events, as I see you come through the dating coaching, and as I see you do the first 2 dates, as much as I want you to meet them on the first one, it's usually the third one takes longer because I know exactly what you want.
Right.
And it just takes longer to find that person.
right.
For me.
You're fine tuning.
And by the third date, because technically I have 300 people in my book of love is what it's called.
Oh my God, the Book of Love.
The Book of Love. But I'm only working with 12.
Okay.
Until I am able to get rid of my job, I will be bringing on all kinds of people.
Right.
But I'm only working with 12 right now. So once I have if I say I have 6 people that are going on their third date, I'm out there pretty much every night networking and meeting people. I'm constantly thinking, oh, will this be good for Sarah? Will this be good for Sarah? Oh, he'd be great for Sarah. You know what I mean? Right. I'm constantly working for those clients.
And like, how do you, just from an organizational standpoint, keep that all straight? Because like,
You got to stay organized.
that is like, I'm picturing like a doctor with like a file.
Yeah.
Like, do you literally have a file?
I have a binder.
For everybody? Holy jumping.
I have a binder with a sheet, but I also have a whole database now, which was worth every penny, that pulls all the matches up in front of me and organizes it already.
And obviously, the more you work with people, the more you know them.
Yes.
So the more they're on your radar.
Yes.
So really, truly, if you're a client of yours, like,
Yeah.
it's worth it for you to like take advantage of the events.
Oh,
like,
you have to.
all of that.
There's a lot of people that just think they're like, oh, you know, I'm just here for the matchmaking. I don't really need to go to an event, or I don't need any coaching. You need coaching.
You need the coach.
You need the coaching. You need the event. It's not just like about going to the, and it's just also like, how can you only be introduced to 3 people? Go and meet, 13 people at an event.
Exactly.
3 times a month.
Expand
Or once every
it.
3 months. Yeah.
And you also do, I saw in there that you do workshops too?
Yeah.
Like little one-off. Are they one-off workshops? Or are they just for the people in the 3 months?
So they're VIP for the people in 3 months. They sell out really, really quickly too. But yeah, you can buy tickets to them.
Interesting.
And there's like no profit in that for me. That's just like where I see the most change being affected.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what kind of things do you cover in the workshops?
They constantly are evolving. We have a wingman webinar that's coming out. It's this Tuesday.
Interesting.
It's actually free. It's our first webinar with this dating coach in Edmonton. Ooh. And he's great. He's amazing. And so we're just going to bring the guys in on a webinar, and he's going to do a little chat. And again, both men and women, it's confidence. And for him, he's going to teach the men or talk about living for purpose. Because living for purpose is huge for just being attractive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you are probably way more attractive than you think, just having this passion in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just having this, and having just this topic to be able to talk about.
Absolutely.
And having the skills to just kind of like, you're way more attractive than I think you give yourself credit for.
Thanks, girl.
Oh,
that makes me.
Totally.
I feel like that's a tough one, and not to put it on like more weight on women or men, but body image and body confidence is something I struggle with, especially like I put on weight like this year, and I never really had to worry about weight stuff. And then, I turned 32 and it's like,
everything's sagging. Where did this go?
There you go. And it's like we talked about, being a busier person with a lot of moving parts in life, trying to manage all those parts, trying to take the time for myself and my health, trying to like, put effort into myself. Like it's all very overwhelming and hard.
Yeah.
And no one in my 20s told me that it would be this hard at 32.
No.
And it's the most stressful, overwhelming time in life. And we're all just trying to make it work.
Yeah.
But this is like something that does make me so happy. And
Yeah.
it's so important to have that even when you are like got 1,000 things. Like after you leave tonight, I'm going to be going on my email and doing work. And like it doesn't end.
No.
But like it's so important to have that, and as women to have a passion.
Yeah.
It's something that you're really, really proud. And that could be your day job.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not for
Your
a lot.
career.
It's, some people that's not the case.
No.
And they have to do things outside of that.
Yeah.
But like, in your opinion, if you're looking at someone like me who like wants to make dating a priority and like wants to do it, what do you think is a doable approach? Because I've heard women who like go on like lunch dates like during their work week, and they squeeze that in during their work day. And like, I always used to think 1 date a week, that's doable.
Yeah.
But then I was like, holy shit, maybe once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. I know, right?
Like, is it literally just figuring out what works for your life? Or is it just taking the moments as they come and not even putting the pressure on yourself to have a quota?
You kind of answered your question right there, I think.
Yeah, not having a quota?
Yeah. But also just kind of like realizing that being busy is the best way to date. A lot of people want to come to me when they're like, I have time. It's actually better to date when you're really busy. That way you're not being too needy with the people that you're dating. So I think once a week is great, but also double up.
Yeah.
We also think that we need to like completely like tunnel this time with this date so that it can be this and this and this. If you're going to a concert with some friends, invite them along, even if it's a first date. We don't do that anymore.
No, we really, really don't.
But it's kind of a good idea, because if he can't hang with your friends, he can't hang with you.
Oh, listen, wannabe. They said it right.
Yeah.
And it's so true. That is something that's so important to me, the friendship aspect.
Yeah.
Because it's really interesting when you see people get into relationships, and it's like you've never met their like significant other and they've been dating like 8 months.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question for you. How long do you think into a dating situation should you introduce them to your friend group?
See, I'm not good at relationship advice, but I think at that point it's not a relationship. But
at that point, you did your job.
I think it's pretty quick. I say just introduce him in like a social situation.
Right.
Like my biggest advice to a woman who, say for example, there's a guy that you're super into, and
got one of those.
You got one of those, okay? And he won't quite communicate back. Like he's not texting back very quickly. Number one rule is usually he's just not that into you, which we have to listen to. But so for example, if you can't get him out of your head, if he's just that one thing that you kind of need a little bit of closure on, I say if you're out with your girlfriends, like for example, I love to go to jazz at Bearley's. I just live down the street from it.
Oh,
so I'll go there and I'll meet a friend, or I'll meet a guy friend, or I'll meet a group of singles that I already know, or I'll run into people there that I already know. I text him around 9 o'clock, so not too late, not like booty call hour, but like just a little bit before. And I say, hey, I'm at Bearley's listening to jazz. You should come. To say you should come rather than you should probably maybe perhaps come if you want to. Say like, hey, I'm living a freaking fabulous life. You should come hang out with me.
What about saying I'm here with these people if you want to come by?
No.
It's too passive?
It's too passive.
So you should come as like, we want you here.
It's like, you should come. It's like, you're an idiot if you don't come and hang out with me because I'm doing something really cool right now. Because you're confident enough to know that you're that cool.
That's interesting.
And that you're living that cool of a life. Or like, even if I just go to Julep is my new favorite place too. I love Julep. Have you been there?
I've heard of this place. I hear
So
it's
cool.
pricey.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Oh,
actually.
really?
No,
But it's more a little higher end cocktails.
The cocktails are actually really expensive. The food isn't.
Yeah.
But I'll go there, and I'll go there with like a friend or something like that. And friends are great, but at some point, I'm out to meet new people.
Yeah.
If there's a guy that's on my list and like I haven't quite crossed that line with him, I'll say, hey, this is where I'm at. You should come.
And put the feeler out and see what he does with it.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question. What if the response is, well, obviously we know, no response.
Yeah.
That's it.
He just ain't that into you.
But like what? Because I think that there's this thing that gets put on women from a young age that we can get any guys we want.
Mm-hmm.
You'll always get, you can have sex with anybody. You can date anybody. And it's like, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to stop teaching women that.
Yeah.
Because then they're really going to get let down when they get rejected. And everyone's going to get rejected.
Yeah.
But like when a guy responds with, so sorry, like I have work in the morning.
Yeah.
Some male friends of mine might say, oh, that just means he's not into you.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that? Like
So if he
sometimes
doesn't
people
come-
have a life.
Yeah, no, totally. No, absolutely. And he doesn't have to show up. Actually, that's not the point of it. It's for him to actually show up. The point of it is for like, you have put that effort out there that like, okay, let's interact in person. So you should come. If, for example, he says, I can't, I work in the morning, which is legit. And then a week later, he like says, hey, I'm here. Do you want to come? Or hey, let's go grab coffee. Let's hang out soon.
You're putting yourself on the radar.
You're putting himself on your radar. Only do that once, by the way. If he doesn't respond with something along the lines of let's hang out sometime, just let that one go.
If it's just gotta work in the morning, sorry, couldn't make it.
And then you never hear from
and then
him?
there's nothing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely do think, and I mean, I know that confidence is a factor, but I think if a guy wants to see you and
You'll make it
and if
happen.
you made a little bit of a move in that direction,
Yeah.
that's giving the green light to even the least confident guys.
Oh, it is.
Like,
And we have to give them all a little bit more credit of how much work they have to do.
yeah.
These guys. And like they get destroyed when they get like rejected. Like men get
Yeah.
rejected 20 times more than women
It's
ever
so
would.
true. You're so right.
And like we just gotta make it a little bit easier for them. Like if we're
Soften
into
the
a
blow.
guy,
Yeah.
just open ourselves up a little bit to him.
Yeah.
Give him that hint that's a little bit more hintier than you would normally do because, women can understand, like you and I are communicating right now. We understand each other's subtle cues more than a guy would hitting him over the head sometimes. You know what I mean? So true. They don't like, not all of them get super subtle cues. So don't think that they will. We're not,
Yeah, no, I know. Communication is such a thing.
It
It's
is.
so important. I know it's cliche.
But no, communication is 100% the biggest thing ever.
It really
For
is.
success in any way. Success in, in business,
anything
in
you do.
relationships.
And business especially.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah,
So important.
absolutely.
Oh my gosh, we covered so. I'm just gonna take a peek at my questions and see if there's anything that I didn't ask you, but I think that we covered.
We covered a lot.
Girl, we covered so much. Typical customer, how do you match people? I think I asked you most of these.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because one of these questions, how does online dating impact the matchmaking business space, and you kind of said it. It's not competition, but it's kind of a supplement.
It's a tool, but also like online dating will just basically throw people at me, because most of the people when I sit down for a matchmaking consultation will be like, I am just so tired of online dating. So finally I decided to come to you. Do you know what I mean? So like online dating
weird and wary.
Yeah, exactly. So they're coming to me because they're just tired of it.
Oh my gosh, do you think most people are
tired of it?
So tired of it. Yeah.
It's just because everybody can be on it now. Like my brother met his wife online dating.
Oh yeah.
But that was in the times where like not everybody was on it. It's like an entertainment tool now.
It's so is. I have so many married friends that make profiles just for fun. And I've been vocal and people have been like, you're too uptight. And I'm like, no, that's
not cool.
Not cool. Unless you're in an open relationship.
Yeah.
That's not
cool.
There's people on there that are literally could really like you.
Yeah.
And are trying to find their person.
Like that's not cool. And that's not cool to your partner either.
No.
Like even if it is just a joke and you guys are doing together,
so
you
many
can
of them
open
do it
that
for jokes.
app.
Because I think that they get into married life and it's boring.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I want to know what it's like to live as a single person. I'm like, you're
playing with fire.
You're on the tip of the iceberg of what it's like to be a single person.
Yeah.
You're not experiencing the full shit bag.
Yes.
Of all the shit that comes with being single.
Yeah.
But like you said that you love being single.
I love being single.
So my last question before we end the episode is like, what are your tips in loving being single? Because I hate it. And I don't know how, like, it's the mindset thing. Maybe I'll just have to pay the $150 and hire you.
Yeah.
To find out. I got a new client.
That'd be fun.
When I get a job. Yeah. But is there anything that you can think of that can help not hating the single life? Because I think when you want the relationship, it becomes so on your mind that you get down and out about being single. How the heck can you enjoy it?
Oh, that's interesting. Living a fabulous life, number one. Living on purpose. So having something to fill your time. So spend as little time at home as you possibly can.
I love that advice.
If you're a homebody and you love reading books all day long, go to a coffee shop and read books. And
be out in the world.
Be out in the world. Stay out of the house as long as you can. It's funny that a lot of the time we think that we hate singlehood so much because we just really hate the routine of our life so much.
Ooh, I love that. That's so true.
When we're going to work all day long and we're talking to the same people all day long, we've gone to the same coffee shop and we know everybody there.
It's boring.
And it's boring. And then we go home and if we're not, and like our social time would be going out with friends to the same place with the same bartender, with everybody that we know, having the same conversation. Or we're staying at home kind of like doing what we love, but not doing what makes us live, like purpose-wise.
And I think that a lot of single people, me included, there's things that we want to do, or maybe like restaurants we want to go to that we think we can't go because we don't have a partner.
Oh, no.
And like, so I've lately been doing the thing, I can't really do it that much right now, but like dating myself.
Yeah.
Like I used to not go to movies alone.
Yeah. Me neither. That's still a hard one for me.
That's really tough, right?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
But like, if you want to go, if you really want pasta or if you really want sushi, just take yourself out for dinner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I order a lot of skip the dishes and stuff. I kind of do it, but I want to actually make the point to like dress up.
Yes. Yeah.
And like go get pasta by myself.
Yeah.
You're dating yourself.
Absolutely.
You want to eat that pasta? Go get it.
Oh no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Dating yourself.
And enjoying your time with you. And we always say, why am I not happy? It's because we're not doing the things that make us happy.
So true.
Like if I was reading a book today on the waterfront, I haven't done that in a long time, and I was just so blissfully happy. I'm like, I gotta do this again more.
It's so like to take the time to do that.
And being self-aware. I know a lot of single people, and not just people in general, they don't want to work on themselves. They don't want personal growth because you have to actually really be honest. And do the work of it. You have to be honest of who you are, where you're at, what kind of happiness it is. You have to address your life where it is, and then you have to start the improvement and do the work for it.
Self-work is like so much work.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard.
But once you do it, then you're going to be so much more confident of a person.
Yeah. And your partner, your future partner is going to thank you for all that work you put in.
Because they don't have to do it. You're
Because
not
they don't
going
have
to
to
be
do
putting it on them.
And you're less likely to do it in a partnership because nobody can tell me what to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got to do it myself. Otherwise, it's
There's
not
something
happening.
about this age, like 32, 34, where it's like, what? We've figured it out. Like,
Yeah.
we're if we haven't totally figured it out, we've figured most of it out.
Yeah.
You know what I
couldn't pay
mean?
me go back
Like-
to 20.
Right?
No.
Oh my God.
I was the body was a bit cuter then, but like I gotta say, I'm more beautiful now than I was when I was 20.
Hell yeah. Jean-Eva, this was
Oh, it was so much fun.
this was so great, and I almost want to like have you on like regularly for like dating episodes because it just felt like a therapy session that I needed in my life, and I think this was extremely useful for people.
We
So,
went into a lot of stuff here.
this was amazing.
No hold back, girl.
No hold
I will
back.
answer any question anybody asks me ever, except for engagement.
I love this, and I feel like I've only scraped the iceberg of you, and I want to know the whole thing. But we'll get there. At some
Yes,
point.
it's gonna happen.
Thanks so much for coming
Well,
on.
thank you so much for having me.
Please tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find your business, like where they
Yes.
can follow everything, get more
Okay.
information about your services.
Okay. So all of my events are on Facebook. So if you want to see any like speed dating events or anything like that, it's all on Facebook.
Yes.
That currently I have, Facebook won't let me change my name to JE Matchmaking.
Oh, that's lame.
They're calling me a poser, and I'm like, I'm not a poser.
What?
So that is still not actually a poser. I can't think of the word that they called me. But I'm working on that. That's hoping to be JE Matchmaking on Facebook. But right now it is Speed Dating Halifax still.
Speed in Halifax. Okay.
Yeah, which is fine because that's where all the events are.
Right.
But then Instagram is my favorite. We're actually having a bachelorette contest.
You need to tell everybody about this.
I am so excited for this. So I'm creating basically a bachelorette in Halifax is my plan. So we launched it September 28th on my birthday because I work every day of the year. And so what we're going for now is for you to tag yourself and all your single girlfriends, and we're going to draw for the bachelorette. And what the bachelorette is going to do, she's going to come sit down with me. We're going to put a profile up. And we're going to say, this is Halifax's bachelor. I want to do this monthly, and I want to do like all age ranges,
Monthly?
all sexualities. Well, I want it to be monthly.
Yeah.
We will see what
Regularly. Then.
I want to see how like people. I would love for it to be monthly. I would love for it to be all the time.
Oh my god.
But like I have to see how people react to it because this is the first time I've done it.
So you tag, you comment.
Yeah.
So if I want to be a bachelorette, I comment and I tag 3 friends.
3 friends, which puts you in 4 times and your friends in each once. Yeah. So then say you win, I will sit down with you and then we will put up like, it depends on how private you want to be. If the bachelorette wants to be really private, we're not going to put up like her full name and her picture, but we'll like describe her a little bit, her first name, and this is the bachelorette. And so then we're launching another poster to get 3 bachelors. And so there's going to be the same thing where like the people will be voting for themselves and all their single guy friends. And so we're going to pick out 3 bachelors. I'm thinking I'm going to pick out 2 off of the actual contest. Then I'm going to pick a 3rd from the Book of Love that's just super compatible with her. Yes. Yeah.
I love everything about this.
I know.
This is amazing.
And so I'm hoping to like, it depends on how open everybody is.
Yeah.
But eventually, like, if it's not this time, eventually I want it to be basically, here are the 3 bachelors as well. And everybody in the public can vote, like, who do you think that she'd be most compatible with? And then we can do the results of all the dates. Because I'm centering on 3 matchmaker designed dates.
Dates with these 3 people.
And I'm paying for the date.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is so fun. And there's so much fun stuff you could do. Like you could like do little videos with each of them.
I know. A little pre-interview. I
Yes. Oh my god.
I want like the coast to pick it up or something.
Oh my god, you gotta I'm gonna be resharing the shit out of this. And when does it close?
Okay, so that is on Instagram, and it's JE Matchmaking is the page. Awesome. So it launched September 28th. The closing of the Bachelorette will be the following Saturday. So I think it's October 5th.
Okay.
And then the 12th, we're going to actually announce who the Bachelorette is, in which we're going to start launching the Bachelor contest is October 12th.
Okay.
And then we're gonna
this episode will be out in time to promote the Bachelor one, because this won't be out this Friday, but it'll be out next Friday. So the Bachelor. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The Bachelors. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
please nominate me. Please
nominate yourself and everybody else. And
I will. I would love to do something like this. I think it's so fun.
Oh yeah.
That's so cool.
And you'd be like great if you could win the Bachelorette. Like you would be like open to all of it. Okay.
So yeah,
I'm gonna try to put you on the top of the hat
for freaking votes here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's unreal. You're amazing.
Oh.
Everything you do is so great. You should be so proud of yourself for doing
thank
this.
you so much.
And you're just such a positive light in the world. And the world needs you.
Oh.
Anything else? So yeah, so they can find
and then
Instagram.
the website, www.jematchmaking.com. So
And
JE Matchmaking anything.
Yeah, so that's where they can find info about signing up.
And that's where you can go. And if you want to sign up for like a phone call with me, like a personal consultation phone call, you go to my website and you just book a time that works for you, and we'll jump on the phone. And then if everything works well, we'll grab into a coffee, and everything works well, we'll send you on some dates.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So fun. I'd be so curious. Let her know if you found out about this through this podcast.
Yes, please do.
Because I'm curious, because I want people to obviously hire you. Fantastic. I'm so excited. You'll have to come back on because this was so fun.
I know, we just scratched the surface
and
too,
we
didn't we?
only just scratched. This always happens. The best guests are the ones where I'm like, I feel like the conversation was great, but like I want to talk more.
But I'm exhausted. I'm emotionally exhausted.
Some night you need to come and crash here, and we'll even
just
drink
go
more
all night
wine.
long.
We'll just drink
Sounds
more wine
good.
about it.
We'll get a bottle in.
I love it so much. Thanks so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
You get to end with a bell ring.
Oh, you know what? I do this at speed dating all the time.
Oh, do you?
Time
Ding, ding. Time's up, bitch.
Time's up. 6 minutes.
I love that. 6 minutes.